hope you had a good week and happy. Well, Thanksgiving already happened, but hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And in honor of the past Thanksgiving event, just want to say that I am thankful for every one of you subscribers and viewers who watch this, watch the videos I do, partake in the live stream. I do appreciate it. I remember when I did my 100 subscriber video many months ago. I was surprised anyone even showed up for that live stream. It was kind of surprising and a little nerve-wracking too, because when you first do that, when you first live stream for the first time, you don't really know what kind of response you're going to get. And I was surprised, 100 people with 100 subscribers, anyone showed up for that live stream. And since then, that's grown obviously a lot more. So again, I appreciate you guys. I know that there are other channels that do better, do worse, have more subscribers, less subscribers, but the key is to think about where you were and where you are now in life to be satisfied with whatever's going on. So I was thinking about the other day in part of Thanksgiving, and again, I appreciate you guys for following this channel, subscribing, and commenting in the live stream. I appreciate it. So I wanted to kind of start with that, a little bit of a saying thank you to all of you guys. The next thing I want to mention was, so I went through the birthday, I'm about to say picture drama, but it's not really that. The Geass R Code has like different stories and stuff. So I went through the birthday one instead of the actual Geass R Code story, because that one will be gone by the end of next month. So I figured, hey, I'll do that one, and I'll have it hopefully up this week. It's very interesting. I thought it was all completed when I was first going through it, but apparently there's going to be a part 2 to it, which is kind of interesting, and that explains why there's an announcement for Geass R Code December 8th. I imagine that's probably going to conclude the story of Lucia's birthday. So there is that to look forward to. One other thing I want to mention, on my channel I made a poll. The poll was for the which anime you want me to do comparisons to Code Geass. And the reason why I post that is, one, I want to do a lot of really in-depth discussion of other stories, but recognize that if it's not Code Geass related, I know it won't get the same attention that I believe it deserves, because regardless if the video I guess is liked or not liked, if a lot of people watch it, it doesn't mean I'm putting any less effort into it. And I would definitely like for people to watch it if I did, put my all into it. For example, I wanted to do a full in-depth analysis of Monster, and I still might do that in the future. It's just that I get the feeling no one's going to watch it. So I figured, hey, if I did a video discussing Monster compared to Code Geass in some fashion, people might actually want to watch it. So that's kind of like the mindset. And specifically, I put Full Metal Alchemist on there because when going through Code Geass R1 specifically, and we're going to go through R2, by the way, next week, which is pretty crazy because that took us like, almost 3 or 4 months to do that? But anyways, the point is, with R1, there were so many hints to the Ragnarok connection, but ultimately I felt like it wasn't handled well, and so I wanted to compare that to the Promise Day, and like how you set up a finale like that and how you don't. Because as much as I love Code Geass, and I mean, I've made so many videos at this point, it's kind of obvious, but even though I do enjoy the series, I won't lie, the Ragnarok connection was definitely not its strongest points, and it could have been, and there was definitely a lot of potential for it, but it just failed on so many levels, and I wanted to compare it to something that actually succeeded where it failed. So that was kind of the whole point of that poll. And I know a lot of people voted for Neon Genesis Evangelion, which will probably be the review for next week, because I know that Code Geass took a lot of inspiration from Neon Genesis Evangelion, but it actually wasn't the only one. In fact, the anime we're going to talk about today, good transition, right, to the review, is going to be Raxephon, which is another anime that took inspiration from Neon Genesis Evangelion. It also took inspiration for anime as well, including one called, I think it's called Radiant or something. It's an old anime, mecha anime from the 1970s, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called. I thought I had it in front of me, but oh, that's it. I saw it. It's Yushuo Raiden, which came out in 1970. But yeah, we're talking about obviously Raxephon. Now, when I first watched the show, I thought it was like I mispronounced it. I thought it was like Raxephon or something. And in the show, the dubbing, they always say, Raxephon. So that's kind of like the topic or the review of today. There's a couple of disclaimers I want to mention before going into the actual story itself. Number one, the anime is very dense for 26 episodes, and if you watch it the first time, or if you've already seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. It is extremely confusing. and you're probably gonna have to watch it again. You might have to watch some guides, read on the Wikipedia page. It's one of those type of anime, and given how it's a legacy, or not legacy, kind of similar to Evangelion, kind of comes with the territory. There's also a film that came out later on after the anime, which I thought was just a recap film that didn't really introduce anything new. And while it follows basically the same timeline, there are critical changes they make in trying to summarize the entire anime into like a single motion picture. And all I would say is you should probably watch that film because it actually fills in a lot of the gaps that the show doesn't have. And I think you can't get a complete picture unless you watch the two series. Well, the one series and the film. So that's like my one disclaimer. The other thing I should mention too is that I will compare them, compare Raxephon to Evangelion throughout this discussion, but I'm not going to do a full in-depth because there's a lot of areas where the two shows similar but also differ. Maybe in the future I'll do a comparison. Again, discussing things not Code Geass related isn't always the best, but I would like to compare them because they are very similar stories. So there will be some like references to Evangelion and discussing Raxephon, but generally speaking, I'm going to try to keep it non-related to Evangelion. Because while Raxephon has some elements, I think it differentiates itself enough that you can watch it without saying, oh, that's just a clear clone of Evangelion. And the reason why I have to make that point is that because there were anime that came out right after Evangelion that were just blatant rip-offs, soulless clones of Evangelion. I can't think of one on top of my head, but when I was doing research on different anime, specifically mechas, I saw a bunch of like, this is a soulless copy of Evangelion. So Raxephon, I feel like, doesn't take everything from Evangelion and because it adds something of its own, it's totally fine in that regard. I don't mind copying different shows as long as you put something new of your own, which creates something entirely different. Because at the end of the day, we've told the same story for years. I forgot who said it, but there's like 7 different stories we tell, and that's it. Everything is based on the 7 stories. So there's nothing really original anymore, but it is fun when someone takes a pre-existing idea and builds on it or changes it into their own form, which is ironic because that's one of the themes of Raxephon without spoiling it. Okay, so now let's get into the actual plot. Cause I can go on all day. I can ramble all day about it, but we don't have all the time for that. We could bear till like the sun burns out. Anyhow, the plot of the anime is simply this. So you got this main character, Hayato. He's 17. He lives in Tokyo, and one day, ships come and attack the city, and then these other fighting weapons attack them as well. They're actually called dolons. We'll get into that a little later. And throughout this chaos, he's on a train with a couple of his friends, and he sees one of his friends, Hiroku, her Asahina, by the way. No relation to Asahina of the Four Holy Swords from Code Geass. Anyhow, she falls, and he sees her hand, I believe it was her hand, and she's bleeding. And they emphasize that her blood is red, which is very important later on in the story. So he runs away from her because I guess you want to get help, whatever the case may be. And eventually, he runs into a woman named Haruka, who defends him against these 2 government agents that tried to kidnap him in the response to a mysterious lady, which I won't give out her identity because, no spoilers. But anyhow, she defends him off against agents. She beats both of them up, and they have blue blood. And they emphasize the blue blood because you just saw red blood. And Haruka asks him the question, or not asks him, but proposed something to him, which we were all thinking ourselves, which is why is it they have blue blood versus humans who have red blood? And that's because these people are Mulians, which are a race of aliens that came to Earth many years ago. It's actually more like thousands. I don't want to. The problem with Raxephon, the problem with discussing in a non-spoiler review is that every episode, in a sense, has a huge revelation, and I don't want to spoil too many of them because, the whole story, in a sense, is kind of like the reason why you're watching it is to see what the whole bigger picture is. So it's hard to discuss the narrative without revealing too much. So I'm trying my best here to just don't say that, say this, because it's one of those type of stories. It kind of reminds me of Steingate a little bit. That's a weird comparison, but in both cases the story is you're going through it to find the big reveal, and Raxephon is kind of in the same boat. You're trying to you want to see what the big reveal is going to be. Anywho, so once he meets up with Haruka, he initially rejects her proposal to go with him. Eventually, after he goes inside of the Raxephon, which he's not even sure what happened, but he goes inside this mech with like wings, and we'll get into exactly what the Raxephon is without spoiling anything. But anyhow, so he's in the Raxephon. He kills a bunch of jets, including well, not clean, but this woman who you see in the very beginning of the episode take her ships to go into wherever she was going. Again, we'll get that in a second. He kills all the ships except for the one person who's in a red one. They made her red, I guess, so you could identify her among the other ships. Anyhow, after that event, Ayato is kind of scared, so he does go Haruka, and they escape the current Tokyo they're in. And they couldn't do it originally on this plane because it was well controlled by the enemy, so they jumped into the Raxephon, which Ayato has control over, and there's many reasons why that's the case. And they go on the Raxephon and they escape out of Tokyo, and there's like this big planet-shaped thing surrounding it, which looks like Jupiter, which is why they call it Tokyo Jupiter. When he gets out of there, Haruka explains basically that the world you thought you knew isn't the world as is. Like the Matrix, same type of big reveal, and he follows her to join Terra, which is an organization fighting against the Mulians, which are the enemies of humanity, as I said earlier, and exactly where they came from and what they're doing, I won't say, but the purpose of this review, they're fighting against them. Now, one of the ways the show is very similar to Evangelion is that it kind of follows a format where a big creature will come, aka a Golem, and he'll have to use the Raxephon to destroy the Golem. In Evangelion, it was angels and Shinji or Asuka, and there was another guy, I forgot his name. They would pilot the Evas to take out the different angels that would appear. So a similar type of scenario where you have a kid who's piloting a mech that's based on the enemy to kill the enemy's mechs. It's a very rinse and repeat formula. You've seen this. Well, now you've seen this, I should say, a bunch of times. And that's the basic setup of the story. There's other elements in play too, like this one reporter who wants to find information. There's the uncle who takes in Ayato, who has like two nieces of his own. Well, supposed nieces, Haruka and Megami. And Haruka and Megami, they kind of have similar elements to Asuka, and I think her name is Misato. The older woman, who's Misato, takes care of Shinji, and Megami is the young girl who's kind of like Asuka, but she's not as aggressive. She's definitely a Sonora, but I liked her a lot more than Asuka. In fact, that's one thing I should mention off the bat before I go into the characters. If you were to ask me just a quick answer, which do you like better, Raxephon or Evangelion? The answer would be Raxephon, because I just happen to like the character a lot more. I'm not saying that the characters in Evangelion aren't likable, it's just that I feel like they over-dramatize a lot of stuff. Now, granted, I haven't watched Evangelion in a couple of years, so maybe I'm misremembering things, but the conflicts that happened to these characters, I felt they were more grounded, which is saying a lot considering Raxephon is anything but grounded. If you've seen the series, you know what I'm talking about. So, anywho, let's get into the characters, but I liked Raxephon more. There's more reasons why, but I can't get into it because of spoilers. So, the main characters, first you have obviously Ayato, who is a teenager. He's 17 in the story. Kind of like Shinji, he is put into a role where he has to pilot something, seemingly against his will, but obviously he chooses to do it anyways because he wants to save those he loves. And he's fighting against all these different golems, as I said. And each battle is kind of like it's interesting. It's more of the battles are more of a mental than physical, which we'll get into later. But the point is, he's kind of thrust in this role where he has to save humanity, and he constantly goes back and forth, should we do this or not? And are they using him? Who's friendly? Who's foe? I mean, in this situation, it makes perfect sense. He was with one side his whole life, and all of a sudden he gets dragged into another side of and he questions who are the good people, the bad people, and considering how everyone's so vague with telling him information, including a couple revelations, that he questions whose side should he be on, who should he fight for, and even who should he trust, because again, people are kind of a little aggressive to him. Then you have Haruka, who's this 29-year-old woman who is very close to Ayato and wants to protect him. Fun game, by the way. Actually, don't play this, but joking aside, if you were to not joking aside, here is the joke, my bad. If you played a game where you take a shot every time Haruka says Ayato, like she screams it, you'll be dead by the end of the series. So don't play this game, but she definitely screams his name a lot. Now, joking aside, she is very close to Ayato and basically is his guardian angel. And I like how the story, and again, I can't spoil this, but I like how they explained brilliantly why she is that way. And I kind of predicted it and kind of didn't, so it was nice that the story was like, there's a reason why she likes him so much. And you're like, what is that? And eventually the story hints it throughout. And that's why you have to watch the second time, because the first time you watch it, you just learn the whole plot and how everything came to be. Second time you watch it, you're looking at the hints of, oh, I see, that was the, oh, okay. You start connecting things into your head, which is, that's why I like shows like this where there actually is an explanation. There are some stories where the plot is confusing all over the place and there is no explanation. It's just done for sake of being confusing. Where Raxephon is actually a puzzle and all the pieces are given to you, but not always in the way that'd be easy to solve. You have to kind of like put the pieces together, but the pieces are there. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, the characters. So Haruka is also a martial artist. She works for Terra. She's one of their intelligence agents, which makes sense because she's the one who got Ayato out of Toko Jupiter. That's her character in a nutshell. I can't go much further beyond that because if I did, it'd spoil everything. Megami, like I said before, she's the Asuka of Raxephon. And what I like about her character more than Asuka is that her her issues in the story were more relatable. And while she's again a Sundara, I felt like I wasn't as annoyed by her because usually I don't like Sundara characters in general. Especially the really aggressive ones that not only scream but also physically abuse people. That's why I'm not a big fan of Chidori from Full Metal Panic, although she gets a lot better in Second Rate, but still, she's kind of annoying in that regard. Whereas with Megami, I understood why she was aggressive initially towards Ayato, but she's generally a good person, and when she does go through certain issues in the story, it's like, okay, I understand how you feel, I'd be upset too. And there's a really good scene, and I won't say what the reason was, but they both were her and Yato, they're on the side of like the door, and they're both explaining like a big revelation story that was completely two different ones for each of them individually, but it was still the same type of issue they were dealing with, which was people hiding the truth from them, and everyone knew except for them. You know, good scenes like that. You also have the leader of Terra, which I forgot his name. That's why I'm looking to the side here to get his exact name here. Jin Kunigi, who kind of like Shinji's father, although unlike Shinji's father, he's actually a nice guy and is a good person. He's not actually the villain the story tries to initially make out to be. He's actually a pretty good person, although he does play his role as leader, so he'll make certain tough decisions, but he does it for everyone's benefit. He's not like Shinji's father, who I couldn't stand him. I think he was a bit nihilistic or soulless. I'm not sure. There's also these three people who are kind of all connected, which is the doctor. And again, I have to look this up because these names. So his name is, Itsuki, Makoto, and there's a blonde woman, Helena. And these three are often, you see them often together in the story. There's a reason why, obviously. There's a reason for everything. It's Code Money. No, they're together because of their past. And there's a lot of scenes that remind me of Evangelion where, Evangelion where you have the characters that are kind of like spaced out. How do I put this? You'll see like two people like in the background, and then there'll be one person in the foreground. They'll constantly shift the perspectives. There's a lot of that in this story, which is again why I thought it was like Evangelion. And if you've seen Evangelion, you could jump right into the show and feel right at home because they definitely borrow a lot. But again, they add some of their own, so it's not like a complete ripoff. The rest of the cast includes people who also work for Terra. There's like a whole unit of pilots. You have Kim, who's one of the females who works there, who has her own issues, which is kind of interesting. I liked her character a lot. And then the second lieutenant, here it is, Shoji. And then there's like Watari Shiro, he's a funny character. Watari Shiro, he works alongside with Terra, and he plays like this. He plays the like bumbling fool, but also the brilliant strategist. He can switch between the two on a dime. There's a great scene where this reporter's asking about a super weapon, and he's like, super weapon? Man, it wasn't, or a secret weapon. He goes, it's so secret, I didn't even know about it. And he's so convincing it. He literally can play two roles. Love the character. I love the voice actor too. Mike, it says here, Kleinhertz. He did a really good job. I like dubbing where you look at the character, you imagine how they sound, and then the voice matches the sound. I absolutely enjoy that stuff. So he's a great character too. I can go all day discussing different people, but the point is, each character I felt was normal. They had issues that I could relate to, and ultimately, like what they go through in their development. It's good stuff. I've cared about everybody, and that's important. You have to care about the characters to like the story. Obviously, that's why there are many stories where I've watched where I don't like it because again, the characters are bad. that was a bit of John Madden explanation, but you get the point. I missed one character, that's Reika, and she's this female who appears to help Ayato get into the Raxephon. That's all I'm going to say about her. Everything else will be spoilers. So she's kind of like C2, if you want like a comparison, because she's this girl who helps out Ayato every single time. And just like C2, she saves him a lot through many of the conflicts in the story. I wonder if Code Geass took inspiration from Raxephon when making C2, because when I was watching, I was like, C2 and Reika are very similar characters. And obviously, like, who they are, where they come from is very different, but a lot of similarities between the characters. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. Good characters. I cared about them. They grew on me as the story progressed, and the revelation with them is actually very interesting. And they did a good job with giving the characters like their own individual stories, but everything tied into the major plot of the story as well. So it's you get a good plot-driven story and a good character-driven story. It's nicely done, perfectly balanced as all things should be. The battles in this story, like I said, it's between the Dolems, so it's the enemy's Dolems and then the Raxephon are all interesting. Most of it is mental and physical. Basically, he'll get into a conflict with one of them, and then they will try to do like weird things, like flood the mech, and he'll go into some like weird area, or he'll do some kind of like buried dimension. Like these Dolems they're very unique in both design and also the way they attack. And many times, Ayato goes into these weird moments where he starts doubting himself, and he goes into a weird almost dream state, and Reika has to like get him out of it to help him win every single conflict. The battles themselves are actually quite short. It's just that his mental fight is really the longer portion of each one, which I like that. You know, it adds a little bit more gravitas to the battles when you know it's like the mental aspect. I thought was more important than the physical. The Raxephon itself, since we're going that direction, is really cool. Some people don't like its design. I was reading a lot of negative reviews in response or in preparation for this one. People don't like Raxephone's design. They think it's kind of stupid looking. I'll say this much. I've seen many mecha, okay? Lots of mechas. And I'll be watching many more down the road. And I have not seen an anime with the same mecha design as Raxephon, except for the one I mentioned before, which is called Yusha Raiden. But even then, that design is still nothing compared to Raxephon. I mean, it has like really cool wings, like the wings that cover the face, wings that come out of the side. It fights. It's like the way you pilot is very organic, because instead of like most mechs where you use this like a steering wheel or joysticks, whatever, it's just your body. It kind of reminded me of what Escaflowne, where Vaughn would use like the arms would like connect to each of the Escaflowne. So basically, when he moved, the Escaflowne moved with him. That's how Raxephon. It works the same way. You put your arms into it, and you can actually decide how you want to use it. And the Raxephon's very OP too. I mean, it can basically do anything as long as you're a capable enough pilot for it. As a whole, like even a whole element of that in and of itself, because again, this is a very dense manga. But maybe the Raxephon design is kind of weird. It's still very memorable. You have not seen many anime with a design like that. And this show borrows from Egyptian mythology, which I can't think of many anime that have done that besides Yu-Gi-Oh!, where they used, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I would say loosely borrows it, but it does. I can't think of any other anime that used Egyptian mythology as like the cornerstone of its design. And it's really cool too. And they even mentioned like, I mean, it's called Raxephon, and Ra is, you know, the god of, the god of sun? Sun god. Oh my God, Jesus. The sun god. So even there, you know what? Let me just make sure I got that right. Ra, let me just make sure I got that right. Egyptian god. It's the sun god, right? It's the king of deities and father of all creation. So who's the sun god? One second. We're getting a little Egyptian lore here. Who is the sun god? I thought that was Ra. It is Ra. Okay, so it's a god of sun and a god of creation. All right. I'm not insane. I learned something when I was younger. So the point is, like, the Ra is like the creation of everything, and there's the whole reason for that too. Again, I don't want to, man, keep going back and forth. Don't want to spoil, but do want to spoil. You know, there's the constant balance between the two. So again, the design is pretty cool. The animation itself, this is another point I want to mention. A lot of people didn't like it when I was reading the reviews, but I think the animation in this anime is perfect. It reminds me of Metroid Fusion, which was an old game that came out in, I think, 03? Hold on. We got Google. I'll search it up real quick. Metroid Fusion. Came out, not Fusion. Ugh, I'm an idiot. Zero Mission. Not Fusion. Zero Mission. My bad. Zero Mission came out in '04. I was close. So in Zero Mission, there's a part where Samus, you see her for the there's a scene where she lost her suit and she had to reclaim it after the space pirates shot down her ship. Anyway, there's a part where you see her kind of like get her suit back and where she's looking around. That I love that style of animation, and Raxephon has a very similar style. And I can't think of too many anime that have the same look. I know what it is. Everyone is pleasant to look at. Nobody is like insanely well drawn. Everyone is just normal looking. Nice change of pace to watch anime where no one is like supermodels. I mean, I love Bleach and I love Code Geass, but I'm not gonna lie, people do not look like that in real life. And the one characters that do look normal are crazy, like Nina. So it was nice to see a story where everyone just kind of looked normal. There are some women in the story who are physically attractive looking, but again, pretty average. If they were in a show like Bleach, they'd be like in Squad 4 and like low seat. They wouldn't be someone you'd see often. The only other show I can think of where they had a lot of plain-looking characters was Monster, which is why I enjoyed Monster a lot. It's good to see realistic stories. Not to say that no one is attractive-looking in the series, but again, it's not overly attractive. Even the girls that are attractive are like, it's normal. Normal people. I respect that. The only thing I will say in against my point here is that sometimes the way the noses are drawn, when characters smile, they kind of look like frogs. It's a weird observation. Like, that's kind of froggy. But other than that, the animation is beautiful. I absolutely loved it. I love to see more shows that share it because I don't mind modern animation, but sometimes it misses that older style, and I definitely appreciate it. It aged well in my view. So that's kind of the animation. I'm trying to think of So let's go over the some cons I have about the series. One major con is that there's a relationship in the story. I won't say between who and what. Though I kind of already did, but I won't, outright say between two characters, which I thought was kind of weird. Again, I won't say why. And when I was watching the story, I was like, please don't do this. And I'm like, all right, you're doing it. Thanks a lot, guys. So, but the good part is it's like a very small portion of the story, and it doesn't last too long either. And given the context, it's not entirely weird, but it is kind of weird. So I kind of struggle with it. At least they explained it somewhat in the story, which is why it is understandable. Another thing about the stories I mentioned at the beginning of this review, you have to watch the anime a couple times. You'll have to look at some guides or watch. I found a good video actually. I went through the whole the basic story of Raxephon because it is a little complex. Maybe they could have been more direct to how they explain certain things. The pacing of the show I think is really good until the last 3 episodes. Then they just exposition dump you to death and they throw so many things at you. It's like, oh wait, slow down. What's going on here? And you have to like really pause the show to take in what you just heard because you have to just not only do you have to process information based on what the show is saying at the time, but you got to think back everything that happened before to understand what the ramification of what the person just said. And unfortunately, that means you have to go back through the story to understand exactly what they meant. So it's one of those things where like, I get it. At least things do connect, but I would prefer if they didn't like go so heavy on it. Not heavy with other shows, but just it could have been a little better. Other than that, the show is very well paced in that respect. And I don't think it was overly complicated to the point where you don't get it, but you do have to, again, watch it a couple times. That's what I want to say in terms of a basic review of the story. I definitely recommend if you like mecha anime, if you like anything that's related to Evangelion, you can watch it in high dive, which means you got to pay for it, but I think it's worth it. Although I didn't pay for it myself, I got it from the library. I was lucky to find it there. You might be as well, although if there's also another way you can watch it, you know what I'm talking about, which I won't say out loud, but you might be able to find it that way as well. So that's my thoughts on Raxephon. Good anime. I give it 8 out of 10, and I think that's a pretty good review. Most of the time, the show is great. There are elements I didn't like. I listed a couple. There are others I also didn't like, but I can't list them because spoilers, and the same goes with the positive as well. Positive and negatives. I can't say certain things because they're spoilers. All right. Anyways, I'm done rambling about Raxephon. Let's go to the comments, and then we'll end R1 between our R1 episode stage 24 and 25. I can't believe we got this far. But anyways, comments first. And there is a lot. Damn. Okay. I don't know if I can get through all these because I didn't realize how many you guys like flooded the thing, which I appreciate, by the way. I'm sorry you can't send the Code Geass picture to the Discord server. I'm not sure how else we could see it. Because you put a lot of effort into it. I hope we can see it somewhere. We'll figure it out. 25 might be the best season finale I've ever seen. It's pretty good, but there are a couple issues I have with it, which we'll get to. Last episode was amazing. Yes, it was pretty good. I appreciate the response. Yes, I should just do this to go through them. Stage 25 is where old Saku Kuragi died and the new one was born. The White Reaper. The White Reaper. I love that. That's great. I saw on Reddit, someone said Charles wanted a world of lies without lies, but also wanted some sort of paradise to spend with his family. I don't believe that. I mean, the problem with this interpretation is that it's exactly that. It's interpretation. We don't know for sure what he wanted to do. That's the problem with the Ragnarok connection in a nutshell. We don't know what would have happened had it worked. We also we don't know what the motivations behind it were, what the end game was. That's why it wasn't handled well. It also seemed like a side plot and not a main plot to the story. So there's a little bunch of... The Ragnarok connection deserves its own video because it's just really complex. For the wrong reasons. What if C2 gives Lush the Geass early around when he was 10 years old? How would that affect the story? Heavily Thanksgiving, yes. I don't know if that would have affected the story. I'm not sure also why she would have given him the Geass at 10 years old. I believe she gave him the Geass because he was supposed to substitute her in the Ragnarok connection. But again, I have no idea. That's just pure speculation. One thing left before celebration of someone's birthday and brought the serious world population. Yeah, that would be Lelouch, I believe. December 5th. I saw the birthday story on Jezreel Code and all the characters talked. I was wondering what were they talking about Lelouch's birthday. The story in a nutshell is they're all basically Gigi and Al and the entire student council are planning a birthday party for Lelouch. So they're gathering like characters from different time zones and universes for the party. But it's really stupid, and when I went through the video, I tried to be as friendly as possible, but honestly, the whole, the entire story was just so stupid. Like you basically have to turn off your brain, like even double to enjoy it, which is kind of frustrating. I kind of expected more, but you'll see when you watch it. I watched Evangelion, and it was good. Evangelion, I don't know, I didn't like it the last time I watched it. Maybe I'll appreciate it more, but, I don't know. I have some. I have some issues with it. I watched the extra review on Code Geass, and I was crying into seeing a lot of the no explanation made strong claims. Haha. The extra review. Here's the thing I'll say about it. It has like some points he makes are somewhat relevant. The problem is he doesn't. It's like he's on to something, but he's wrong. That's the funny part. Like, there are like he'll point out something. I'm like, yes. You're right. There might be something wrong with what you're saying, but you're not in the right. You're like right track, wrong train, essentially. And many things he just made up, which is funny. You know, it's funny when I watch the detractors discuss why they hate Code Geass. Many of them will just make up stuff. You know, like don't watch the story. Just make up things because apparently the source material wasn't enough to rip on. Because he made up stuff in that review, and one day I'll go over it. I mean, I have notes for days on it. I just want to wait till I have a bigger audience, and it's not because I hate you guys or anything like that. It's just because I want people to legitimately watch the video. I'm afraid if I made it now, you know, they say blow the load too early. The people who should see the video won't, because unfortunately it has like over 200,000 views, and I think of those 200,000 views, I wish more people would. I want at least a portion of those people to watch the video, and they won't if I make it now. Unfortunately, that's how YouTube seems to work. There was a video made by Anime Uproar when he discussed the video, and I will say that Anime Uproar's discussion was terrible. Because they have going through point about it, or he attacked the weird stuff. Then he had a live stream where they had a bunch of people going over it, and again, they didn't really go into any of his points. They didn't try fact-checking anything, or actually discuss the greater detail. Instead, it was more general, because so many things he said in that video were just wrong. It was just like, wow, you know? I'll give you a quick example, and then we'll continue on the comments here. He said that Valletta was shot in the stomach, and she had memory loss because of it. The reason why I pointed out, like, many weeks ago about her nude scene was that if you see her stomach, there's no bullet wound anywhere. She was shot in the arm. And it's just an example like that where it's like, just watch the show. And what's funny, too, about that, and I'm going this rant, I apologize, but I don't apologize what I'm talking about. He even wrote a note, because he listed his Google Sheets account that had this that whole thing he made, where he went through each episode and he gave some notes on it. I think it was Google Sheets, or not Google Sheets, it was what's it, Google Word? I don't know what they're called. That equivalency to that. I'm like blank on names, I'm an idiot. But anyhow, so Google Docs. God dang it, I should. And Google Docs. So he was on. He sent his notes on it, and he mentioned how Valetta's nude must be fan service. Dude, are you serious? You admitted you saw him. You saw her shirtless, and then you complained that she was shot in the stomach when you know she wasn't. It's just, God, it's so infuriating because you know that's not what it was. All right, I'm done. I'm not going into this. That's a whole nother 3-hour discussion. That's another thing too. If I was to go through that video, it would probably take me 3 hours. Because it's 24 minutes itself. 45 minutes, I mean. Anyhow, 24 is good. 25 is a masterpiece. I can't think of a single problem with it. Nothing inherently wrong with either episode individually, but in the grander scheme, there are some critical issues. Did you see Game Rant article? I did, and I will do a response for it. I didn't have a time this week. I was getting the C2 video and Lush completed, and I also did recording for the birthday, and I did some preparation for the death count. And the kill count, I'm gonna hopefully get it done in the year. The problem with that video is that, my God, turn 11 is the most distorted thing I've ever watched. I can't figure out what hell's going on in that episode. There's like one part where the Chinese forces are breaking into the Black Knights, and it's just, you just see things flashing. You can't follow what's happening in it. I mean, R2 made the conflicts larger, which I appreciate, but for someone who has to go through and actually find out how many units were killed in every single scene, forget it. Turn 11 is just, oh my God, it hurts my head. Sorry, that was not what you were asking, but there you go. Worst from best Code Geass ships. Solution C2. That's number 1. Oh, are these yours? Oh, you want me to rank them? Okay. My bad. Okay, Lush NC2, that's probably number 1 in my book. Suzaku and Yuffie, hard 2 or 3. Ogi Valletta, definitely bottom tier. Colin and Gino, honestly, in Resurrection, I approve of this. Millie and Rivals, also bottom tier, because Rivals is a coward and a simp. Toto and Shiba, very high on the list. Akito Layla, considering that's canon, same with, that's probably high too. So I'd probably go Lelouch, C2, then Suzaku and Yuffie, Akito and Layla, then Toto and Shiba, Cornelia and Guilford. I put Colin, Gino, Millie, Rivel, and Ogi and Vlad all the same thing. Although of all those, I probably put Colin at the top. So, because the one I like Colin and Gino, you have to really put headcanon to get that one going. At least with like Cornelia and Guilford, there's more evidence for that. Especially this scene at the very end of R2 where Guilford is with Cornelia and she says, "My princess," or prince, whatever, and she's like, "Guilford, you will never stop calling me that," because that just shows you what he thinks about her. He'll always be by her side no matter what. He's a very loyal man, almost like Jeremiah. It's too bad Resurrection didn't like show Guilford and Cornelia as a couple. I'm not sure why they didn't do that. It would have been so like perfect that like at the wedding you see Guilford in a tuxedo with Cornelia because they're a couple. I don't know why they didn't do that. Damn it, Resurrection, you had a chance there. Okay. Can't wait for the Code Geass game. You and you alone, my friend. I'm not interested. Unless, I mean, if it's a gacha game, I'm definitely interested. If it's not a gacha game, maybe I'll check it out. I hope the mecha battles are fun. The Nightmare Frame battles are fun, but we'll see. Yeah, see, next year, who's got time for that? They better have Zero Capture completed. I think you did it, Colin. Oh, worst to best. Okay, Colin, Gino, Millie, Toto, Ogi, Valletta, Suzaku. You would put Ogi over Toto and Chiba? I guess if you're doing canon, but I don't agree. Well, I thought of a Code Geass game, I thought it'd be an open world, playing as a Lelouch, playing missions, but it'd be hard to make Japan, China, and Britannia explorable. Would it be, though? I mean, have you seen Skyrim? Have you seen The Witcher? Have you seen Grand Theft Auto? It would not be too difficult. It just calls effort, and they don't want to put into it. I think you should make an RTS game for Code Geass. That'd be the ultimate way to handle it, because that's what Code Geass is. It's an RTS game in a TV show form. You got a commander leading troops against other troops. That's how I see it. I'm also surprised you haven't done a video debunking review. It's because one of those videos frustrated. It's not that. I wrote the whole script for it. I just want to have a larger audience. I'm very selfish in that respect. I'm a selfish creature like C2. I want a bigger audience to make the video. I wrote notes on it many, many months ago, almost probably a year at this point. Um, yeah, it's complicated too because the problem with the X's video is that it would take forever. You're right, but also there's just so much to. God, that's a whole nother thing another time. I don't want to go into it further, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. Need more people, and then I can definitely do it. Maybe I need help too. We'll see. The map in Code Geass open world would be extremely big. Again, I don't think so because you're only exploring the specific areas. You're not going through all of Britannia or all of Japan or all of the Chinese Federation. You're just going to the single locations from the story, right? So if you only focus on those locations, it wouldn't be that bad. But again, who has the time for that? I have invested in Code Geass, Evangelion, and other scientific rail games. Okay. All right. Oh, you have invested in those. I have invested. I don't like putting money into these games. I think it's frustrating you have to in the first place, if that's what you mean. Shinji can't spell again the dang robot. Ayato was basically the same thing. Ninja's Evangelion character is good, like Misato, Shinji, Ayami, and Asuka. Code Geass characters are outstanding. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. Rei is kind of like Rei's character in Evangelion is similar to another character in Raxephon, but the way they did it was much different. So definitely similarities, but I liked how Raxephon handled it a lot better. There's no there is a Rei character, but I liked how they did it better in Raxephon. If Code Geass would be an open world game, what places would you be able to explore besides Japan, China, and Britannia? I don't think you'd go anywhere else besides those locations, but you'd... Oh, that's not true. Seas World. Beyond that, though, you wouldn't go anywhere else. China is just a bad Code Geass. Wow. Just watched a bit of Evil Within 2 and realized the bad guys have the same plan as Charles. Can all human minds into hive mind, except it's explained better. I feel like everyone has tried this plot before. It's nothing too original. Speaking of Evangelion, what if Hideki Anno directed the Code Geass series? Well, if he did, we need like 3 films to end it. So let's hope he doesn't do that. It'd be very expensive, that's true. Code Geass Relation 3 would be quite fun. Code Geass for any console would be fun. The open world concept of Code Geass would be very interesting to think about. Hold on. We're almost done here. People gave him Roll hate. Yeah, I mean, Roll's going to hate a lot. Roll's a very interesting character in R2. We'll get to that at some point. Code Geass explores Japan, Britannia, China, and Europe. If you count the manga, they explore Spain, India, Russia, Germany, and other countries. Yeah, there's a lot of areas you can explore, but if you're going to make a game based on Code Geass, specifically the original series, there's only a small amount of areas to explore, so I think it's very doable, but it won't be done. He didn't even know what love meant. No, yeah, Raul was a soldier trained at birth to kill with no humanity in his life. To be fair, Chidori had to deal with Sasuke shenanigans. I think everyone would go insane if that does happen in the Fumoffu season. Yeah, but did you have to beat him up every single time? I get it. You can get angry at him, but you have to throw a base pad at him. I mean, come on. It got a little crazy after a while, especially when they became really close. Then it was unreasonable. Roll's one of my favorite characters. I don't know why but almost cried at his death. Yeah, his death was it's a hard scene. Probably, I don't disagree with that. The Japanese voice actor of Lelouch was the same guy who voiced the gay guy Grell in Black Butler. I have not seen Black Butler, but I'll take your word for it. Okay, what if Roll never died? Good question. Thought I was White Reaper, in Akito or Black or Blind. I don't remember that at all. I think imagine Roll staying beside Lelouch, helping out to kill Charles. Yeah, what could have been? Anyone thinks Charles had enough of E2s? Pretty much, yeah. That was turn 15. I think Roll will be sad about Lucius' death. Yeah, I think so. If Roll never died, he would stick by Lucius at the very end. Wouldn't kill Nelly because he knows Lucius would hate him if he did. I think he wasn't killed Nelly. Also, to the point here, the fact that he saved his life is proof that if he died, he would have been upset. Just side note there. Lucius at the time didn't know Nelly was alive. Yeah, I think he means beforehand, I guess. Sako is skinny. He sure is. Lucius is also skinny. Charles looks like a big dude. He eats a lot of food. Everyone in Code Geass is skinny. Yes, unfortunately. Except Charles. Very true. And fun. Do you think we'll get a Code Geass live action show in the near future? No and no. No to both your questions. No, we're not getting one, and no, I don't want one. If we get a live action for Code Geass, it would be the worst thing ever. Do not. Anime is awesome. Please don't do live actions. I don't want to get into the Cowboy Bebop thing, but like, no. Okay. Just no. It's frustrating because if I wanted to watch a story like Code Geass, I'd watch for live action. I'll find something similar to it, but I don't want to just watch something. I mean, like, just basically what I'm trying to say is just putting in a live action is very lazy. That's why I can't stand that whole nonsense. We're like, we should just do live action of any story. No, don't do that. No one asked for it. I mean, I watched the Full Metal one, and it was god awful. There's a reason why it's animated. Okay, that's all I have to say when it comes to live actioning anything. It's animated for a reason. What's going on, Hold on, my thing is. What's going on here? Hold on. I'm having some computer problems. Awesome. Let's see what's going on here. For some reason, my computer is being really obnoxious. Let me see if I can do some troubleshooting here. I apologize. I did not see this coming. Is Chrome ruining everything? When do they not ruin everything? I'm just confused. What's going on here? Image. Okay. All right, let me try this again. Because my whole system just crashed for some reason. Which is always fun. I love when my thing crashes. Are we going to cooperate now? I know it wants you to download the latest thing. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. I don't know what that was about. I know that like my performance does dip when I use Chrome, but Chrome is just too damn good. That's what happens. All right, last comments before we begin. Oh God, not the last. There's a bunch. Oh boy. Okay, last 8. We're gonna speed through this really quick. Number 1. Everyone be skinny. We better not. Okay, if Death Note remake was trash, then yeah, I didn't know. No, it was bad. Death Note was awful. During Stage of 3, Chiba and Toto should help compensate others. Toto, nah, they'll be fine. They're gonna die. Asina, Kasi. Oh crap. Yeah, basically, that is deep, literally. At least Akito, Renya, Older, and Orpheus can care as fellow protagonists and Lucius' birthday since he brought them together. Yeah, but they don't know who he is. That's the problem with the story. DX calls Lelouch not smart because everyone else is dumb. Yeah, that's a common complaint. It's not accurate. You don't like Ogi Athleta? I thought they were great. I don't know. Seemed forced to me. Maybe I thought they didn't ship Cornelia because of Cornelia X. That's very true. That could be the case. Code Geass should be a strategy game, not RPG. Okay, next. Last stories. Apparently we'll have more info on the birthday stream. Hopefully get more possibly release dates to capture. I don't think any of that's going to happen. These people are so dubious with that information. But if that was the case, I'll definitely discuss it. Don't worry about that. We don't see Toto share Shiba's feelings. Okay, that's true. Any resurrection, he ignores her altogether. That's a fair point. Colin Gino would work because of the whole Gino backstory. No, I think it could definitely work. It's just that I don't see the story bring much evidence to it. I personally like the couple. I just don't think the story itself does, if that makes any sense. I think Lelouch should be in a city area if he wants to go into the country of Britannia before Lelouch becomes emperor. They could kill Lelouch if he was 0. He went to the country of Britannia before Lelouch becomes emperor. I guess so, but I guess you could say that. The pink Rons? I'm not sure what that is. Of course you would. I disagree. I mean, the Nightmare frames would look cool in action. No, they would not. Have you seen any CGI stuff? Like, just no. You would play as Suzaku who died. I guess you could do that too. Oh, Oh, I see what you were doing. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to go through the comments further since we're done. Let's get into the first topic. And I always do it every single time. I hate myself. I made different banners for different topics, and I don't show them because, damn it. All right. Okay, so at the last episode 23, Cornelia was about to destroy Lelouch, as you see here, and Dalton was mind-controlled to come in at the right time to stop her. And her nightmare frame is basically, wait, hold on. No, my bad. That's this episode. Whoopsies, this image is in the wrong location. What actually happens is, you see Jeremiah awakening. I'm not sure why we don't see it here, but Jeremiah was awakening from his sleep, and he mentioned Code R and how he was designed to look like C2. What's interesting because they're trying to remake the project, how C2 was basically immortal. I guess they were trying to make Jeremiah immortal as well. I assume that was the point of the project. Then we hear Zero is announced, and Jeremiah freaks out, and then this guy basically starts destroying the settlement, and the guy next to him is like, "What are you doing?" And he shoots him in the head. This woman also kills the people around her to do it, and they essentially destroy the piece of settlement to annihilate the whole forces. And he explains again how that works. What I like about this is that you see in 23 you get one perspective of it, and 24 gives you a completely different perspective. So I like the two different sides on it. And of course the whole like at midnight, it goes down. And then of course Tamaki's like, "Oh my god, Zero is so amazing. I love Zero. He's the best." And by the way, in this episode, I think it's this one, Tamaki not only is incompetent, which is standard for Tamaki, but he also disobeys Lucius' orders twice, and he's still allowed on the Black Knights. I should have mentioned in my likability video on Code Geass, or Lucius' likability, CBR article I responded to. Tamaki not only is incompetent, but he disobeyed Lucius twice, and he's still allowed on the Black Knights. If that is not a hint that he should have been removed, I don't know what is. I was like, wait, this guy disobeyed the rules twice. Why would you keep this guy around? And then DR's like, yes, how'd he do this? He must have collaborators. He must be a high school student. I love it. The world is a game, and we're pure just pawns. That's the result of Lucius' madness. Then we get this intro, which is very polarizing amongst the fans. It has here's how I see it. The music, fantastic. Animations, very lazy. So that's kind of the way I see the intro. I think it's. I mean, I love the song from 24 and 25. I don't know why they made a separate intro for these two episodes, but I definitely like it. Excuse me. And the episodes, these intros show you like a bunch of highlights from the series, including Schneizel, Shirley, C2, Lelouch, with Suzaku at the edge there. So then when the battle starts, we see Lelouch talking to C2 about essentially their plan is they're going to draw out Charles through the battle, and he'll use the Geass on him. That's his whole goal. Now, what's kind of weird, and I've rather mentioned this early on, but when Lelouch destroys the whole panel, this thing here, let's go back. He almost killed Cornelia. And what's kind of weird is his whole plan was to capture her, to use Geass on her, to learn about what happened to his mother. But if he enacted his plan, he could have killed her several times over. He even told his troops to kill Cornelia, and I was very confused about that because he nearly did several times within the last two episodes. So I'm very confused with Lucius' plans here. Was he trying to kill Cornelia or capture her? And obviously it was to capture her. So why he tell his troops to kill her? Why he collapsed the settlement with her on there is kind of weird to me. I mean, if it wasn't for Cornelia's excellent skills as a Nightmare Frame pilot, she would have died. So it is what it is. Anyhow, the conflict is going on, and we see Toto commanding his troops. There's Chiba. I love this angle of her. It's pretty cool. Meanwhile, as I mentioned before, Jeremiah wakes up and he's kind of freaking out. They want to take him back to the homeland. If you remember, like last episode, I think it was Schneizel said, bring them back to the homeland. It might have been, actually, I think it was 22, I think. It was right after the massacre started. So then the Zangetsu, Voliar Gekas are starting the battle. Meanwhile, Lelouch is watching everything. No, that's not Lelouch, but there's like a whole overhead. If you go back here, he's seeing the whole battle, which is kind of cool. And they mentioned later on why that's important in the story, which I thought was good writing there. Anyhow, they're battling against all the Britannia Nightmare Frames, and you see how Cornelia is trying to stand tall for troops. This guy here, I don't know his name, but God bless him, he took the bullet for Cornelia, because literally she was seconds away of being killed by Toto. So respect to that. Then we get this awesome battle between Guilford and Toto. And it's such a shame that they cut it off in the middle because, like, oh my god, this was getting really good. In fact, let me show you how good this battle gets. Let me get my my video here of it because I was So let's see. So when they're battling, he nearly kills him, and then Guilford gets involved and he's fighting Toto, and you see here it's just so cool. Because again they fought in Naruto, and we had to wait like so many episodes, what, 17 for this file for the not 17, like 14, 13. There we go, got it. To have like a rematch, and Guilford's like, I will defend you. And this is the cool part. He pulls out his sword, and he's what I like about it, you see how Guilford holds the sword, and then when he goes back on it, hold on, yeah, like that. It's very indicative of his culture of like Britannian, European style of swordplay. And then you see how Toto holds the sword, and very Japanese. Very minor stuff, but I love the attention to detail they have of how Toto holds the sword versus how Guilford holds the sword. And unfortunately, we don't see much of the fighting after this point, but this was a really cool scene. I've always stated, like, I love it when Toto fights against Guilford. We don't see much of it, but when we do, it's good stuff. So I'm making note of it because it's one of my favorite parts of this episode. And there's a lot of good scenes in addition to that. So then eventually the Blood Knights they're starting their campaign. Zero decides to make the Ashford the location that they'll have their headquarters because it's actually in a really good spot. And of course, Colin doesn't want to go there, because she has some sentimental value to Ashford. Ogi tries to call Valletta, who killed all the people who were those Japanese thugs, because she got her memories back. We get to the scene where Suzaku wants to use the Nightmare Frame, and all I'm thinking the whole time is Lloyd an idiot? The answer is no. He might be a sociopath, but is he really dumb or naive to think that Suzaku wouldn't take the key from him? If he doesn't want Suzaku flying the Nightmare Frame, then don't have the keys like in your hands. He was basically asking. No offense to Lloyd, I love his character, but he was asking for this. You don't taunt Suzaku after what happened. He knows his girlfriend was just killed by Zero, and he literally just has. Man, I love Lloyd, but really dumb stuff on his part. I don't support violence against anyone, but he kind of deserved that a little bit there. The Blood Knights start their fighting before. We see a little more of the Toto versus Guilford fight. Eventually, the Glass Knights get involved, and that's the end of that conflict between the two of them. So we don't see much of their fighting. They don't know if Dalton's still alive or dead, which is very important because we don't know if he's alive or dead. Okay, so getting on here, we see Lelouch destroying a bunch of jets, and him and CT are just discussing about how they wiped out the air support. Actually, I think only Lelouch is discussing this while CT's in the seat, and he's telling everyone what to do. I love how he tells he tells everyone to do certain things. They're all really big roles. He tells Tamaki, where's Rakshata? She's over here. Okay, they're like, okay, to help Rakshata out. It's like Tamaki had no real role in this story. It's amazing. Now Odysseus, weird thing about this guy. Number one, he's actually a pretty nice person. Number two, he has blue eyes. Is he the only member of the royal family who has blue eyes? I was thinking about this as I was watching the video. Is he the only one with blue eyes? Because everyone else has purple eyes, right? So let's look it up real quick. I didn't want to search it beforehand, because I actually wanted to search it, at the same time you guys. Because I think he's the only guy in the royal family who has blue eyes. If my computer doesn't crash, I can show it to you. Okay, now I'm stuck somewhere. Yeah, now I'm stuck. 1 second. Okay, I think we're good now. My computer keeps flipping out on me. It's really irritating. Oh crap, it is. Okay, you know what I'll do? I got an idea. I really wanted to search this up, but it's like my computer's being very finicky right now. So what I'll do is, okay. All right, yeah, this is not gonna work. 1 second. Okay, so here's what I'll do. We'll load up. Yeah, I'm using too much memory. 1 second. I'm gonna load up Edge, and I'm gonna switch to that real quick. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Okay, now let me go to StreamYards. Yeah, Chrome is being really annoying right now. Come on now. Stop being annoying. I don't want to just close it out. Um, let's see. Is it still bad? Let's see. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, I got to close Chrome. It's literally destroying my memory. Which my browser crashed on me. That's what's going on. By the way, if you're like, what happened? My browser literally crashed on me. Again, not part of the plan, but here we are. Okay, I think we're good now. I keep forgetting that Chrome is like the worst when it comes to everything. It's freaking freaking memory usage is so obnoxious. Okay, I just want to go to my live video. I like to have both present. Okay, let's get into there. Okay, all right. I think we are now in a better place because okay, guys, see how much faster that is? Freaking Chrome can go kill itself. I love Chrome, but man, worthless. All right, so now what I was saying before, I believe all the descendants of Charles. Um, oh, this is the only one with blue eyes. So let's see. I'm just curious since we were wondering about. I was wondering about this rather. Um, does it have the whole royal family listed here? It's funny. Well, yeah, where's his kids? No, his kids. Worthless. Much for Wikipedia being helpful here. Relatives. Okay, so that's his consorts. His wives. So we have. I'm taking the ones I know for sure don't have, or I'm not sure about. Catherine. I don't think she has it either. Kistor and then Pollux. Let's take a look. Marion has purple eyes. Genevieve has tinted purple, green eyes. Why does she have purple? She has green eyes. So Genevieve has green eyes. Okay. Clovis has blue eyes. Okay. Maribel has purple eyes. Catherine has blue eyes. Also blue eyes for her. What is this person from? Oh, the DS game. Purple eyes. Pollux has same person. Okay, so Catherine, Clovis. Um, it's just weird because they're Clovis is knee, Catherine is knee. No, Clovis is law. Catherine is knee, and Odysseus is EU. So 3 different mothers, all with blue eyes. Okay, well, whatever. I guess I was wrong. There are other characters with blue eyes. Okay. Anyways, weird observation, but I was thinking about it because that's what I do. Odysseus wants to stop the fighting, and eventually Schneider jumps in, and he's like, "Do you hate the fact that people are fighting in one another?" I think they also mentioned that Charles was nowhere to be found. I wrote a note about that. Let's see. I guess not. It must be later on in the story. But yeah, Shadow takes control because no one else is doing anything. The Raikou makes a reappearance, which is kind of cool. We haven't seen that since the hotel rescue, and they're destroying stuff. And I love the music that starts playing at this point is some of the best in the anime. You see them; they're clearing the pathway. All nine frames are the Burais are proceeding. Excuse me, on their path, and they're using slash Harkins to climb up different heights, including the Gurren. It's really cool stuff. They're talking the whole map area, which is I love how the Gawain has like one of the best HUDs of any Nightmare frame. You're just seeing the entire battle in front of you, and it's just cool how he's deploying all the troops. He's overseeing everything. It's just really exciting. He knows where everyone's going. I get a little more John Madden commentary, but still, it's good. When when you have a map and you see troops on the map, and then you know where they're going and stuff, it keeps you informed because you know where they're going and you can tell them what to do, and boom, you can you can conquer Japan. And then of course we see Detail return after being fired from the entire TV team taking over. I love that. It's one of the best scenes in the whole episode. Jeremiah is freaking out again, and he claims the reason why Bartley did all this to him. I think it was this part where it's like, oh, because I got you screwed and I ruined you and stuff, which is not the reason that Bartley did this to Jeremiah. In fact, I'm not sure why he experimented on Jeremiah, but whole other thing for another time. The Black Knights interfere at Ashford, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Tamaki threatens to shoot them. Like Ribble is like, lower your guns or something, and Tamaki's like, I'm going to beat you up. And Lucia's like, I specifically said, do not hurt any of the students. But we're supposed to our command base. How does command base and hurting students sound the same to you? Are you an idiot, Tamaki? Well, yeah, you are. Now, Colin revealed herself to be, the Black Knight member, and Shirley asks, how come, what you did to me, you ruined my life, basically, or I have some memory issues. And Zero, of course, Luce ignores her. Now, here's the part that this part of the episode makes no sense to me, and maybe I'm just like overthinking this. But okay, why is Lelouch and Colin talking to Millie, Shirley, and Ribbles when they take over the school? Shouldn't they be talking to the principal, the faculty, anyone else? Like, Millie doesn't run the school, right? Now, I was thinking maybe the reason why this is the case is because Millie is the granddaughter of Ashford, who is the principal of the school. But I think it's the principal. But still, like, Lelouch is taking over this whole the building. He's negotiating with Millie. Millie doesn't run the school. She's not in charge of anything. She has no real power. She's just a granddaughter of the family, and she's the president, like the student council president, not the like actual president. I'm just really confused. And my first thought was, besides her lineage, I was thinking, okay, maybe there aren't any faculty, currently in the building because it's after hours and she lives in the building. That's why she's technically in charge. But then she tells Lelouch, she says that, will the faculty not be harmed? And I was thinking, okay, so there is faculty in the building. Then why is Lelouch talking to Millie for? He should be talking to the faculty and explain to them what he's doing. It's a really bizarre scene. I get it because they're all, friends. It makes sense for them to all be together. But from a more logical standpoint, talking to the student council president is meaningless. I would go to the principal and say, hey, I'm in charge of this building, not Millie. It's really strange. I never thought about it until like watching it recently, but I don't know why they're talking to Millie. Now, Colin could have gone on her own with the Black Knights to prevent Tamaki from doing anything, but Zero should have been negotiating with the principal or whoever was the higher authority, because Millie is not that person. Anyhow, that's just a random thing I was thinking about. Okay, so Zaku comes, he kills what is his name? Yoshita in the Raiko. He's the one that went Black Knight following members I just didn't care about. And I like how he dispatches of it really quickly. If you remember in Stage 8, he struggled a little bit to kill the Raiko. But here, he takes out like 2 shots and then, again, kills Yoshita, which is kind of sad. Then you hear Zaku saying, I'm going to kill you, Lelouch, or Zero, rather. And V2 makes it apparent. He explains to Zaku about the power Lelouch has to control, Zero has to control people. And again, I'm not going to go full details in this video. I will make a discussion about the Ragnarok connection, but this whole scene with V2 makes no sense, and it's very contradictory to the whole plot. And that's, again, why the problem with Code Geass is that the whole Ragnarok connection and everything up to it is one of the worst parts of the story, and this scene with V2 talking to Zaku is so confusing and perplexing that I don't even know how to dissect it in like 5 minutes, but in context of the plot at least, or the scene rather, not the whole overarching story, V2 tells Zaku that Zero has Geass power. How V2 knows this, I have no idea. Anyhow, so Zaku is pissed off about it, and then Valletta also basically says that Lelouch has, or Zero has some ability to, actually she does say Lelouch because she recognized him early on as a high school student before she lost her memories. So Lelouch has the Geass ability, or just the power to use to erase people's memories. She never says Geass, but apparently V2 told Suzaku that he had Geass powers because Suzaku references Geass in the end of stage 25. So I'm not sure when V2 told Suzaku this, but apparently he did at some point. Anyhow, Suzaku wants to find Zero, and he runs into Colin, and they have their really their confrontation. And by the way, their fight in this, it was actually really good. And the reason why it was really good, because Suzaku basically owned Colin in this fight. It was actually really good tactics because you see, Suzaku knows that Colin's only main weapon at this point is her one arm. You know, the what is it called? The radiant wave surger. So if he can disable that one arm, Colin's Nightmare Frame, no offense to it, is kind of worthless. I mean, yeah, you have this the vibrant the vibrant slasher, the second word in that name. You have that, but other than that, she's not that powerful without her arm. So what Suzaku did was he traded arms with her, which made sense because he can use what is it called? Now I'm pissed off. I'm forgetting what is it called. Give me a second here. It's called the one second. It is called it's a fork knife, but there's an actual name for it though. You gotta be kidding me. All right, 1 second. I'm gonna go to the line slide. So frustrating. I can't keep all the stuff in my head. I try, but I can't. It is called Master Vibration Sword. That's it. Okay. So Suzaku can use the Master Vibration Sword in either arm. Oh, Phoenix, thanks for showing up. Thanks for appearing. Take care, man. Anyhow, so Suzaku can use the Master Vibration Sword in either arm. So if he takes out Colin's, you get the point. He takes out her arm that does everything. The Radiant Wave Surger arm. He could still use the other arm for the sword. So in a nutshell, he gave it his arm to destroy hers, but because her arm is all she has, he could still use the other one to fire, the Varus or the sword. That's why Colin ultimately lost in this battle. It was actually a strategical victory for Suzaku because he figured out Colin might win because they fought like 3 or 4 times up to this point with Gurr versus Lancelot. And he actually owned Colin here. It wasn't even it had nothing to do with who had the stronger Nightmare Frame. It was just pure strategy. It was like pure tactics here, a tactical victory over Colin. And he would have killed her too had Lucian not interfered, which is interesting. I'll have to consider that in discussing about Colin's Nightmare Frame ability as a whole in later videos. But in this case, Zaku, he owned her. You gotta give the guy credit. He defeated her clean victory there. But Lucian has the he's able to convince Zaku to follow him. Meanwhile, Toad's discussing the strategy with the rest of the troops. Cornelia didn't stay in the battle because Guilford told her not to. She of course learns about the air support coming, and he tells them to leak it to Zero because he will come to the top of the Garment Bureau. Love the picture here of her outfit. It's really cool. And then the Glassed Knights, of course, help her out. Meanwhile, again, Jeremiah is freaking out. That's what we see of that. I believe he will escape at some point. Dalton is shown here again, and I love the whole setup behind that. We see the Black Knights in the command center at the Ashford, and they're explaining what territories they control. They were actually pretty close. I mean, if they just took over the Bureau, they would have won. Like, they had all the major centers covered. They were very close to winning. Then, of course, we see Valletta, and I gotta admit, Ogi has been one of the stupidest people in this story because you look at Valletta here, her expression, the way she's walking. This is not the person he rescued. She looks serious. She looks serious and with a purpose. And how did Ogi not see that when he asked them to hand her over? Or better yet, he chose probably not to see it. That's probably the better explanation. Shirley believes that Lucius is part of the Black Knights and he won't harm them. Then Lucius threatens to harm them. Zaku's like, don't do that. And of course, they trap him in the Gefion net, which was kind of cool. Or I don't think it was a net. But anyway, the Gefion trap. Then Suzaku is like, you betrayed everyone. And Lucius is like, yeah, we both betrayed people in the past. What's your point? We're both awful individuals. I don't really care. Then he runs away, leaving Suzaku kind of trapped in the net. Meanwhile, we see the guns from the Tokyo Summon firing on all the Nightmare frames because again, this thing's like a freaking fortress. That's why Lelouch, the second time around, when he had to conquer it or try to conquer it, he took out the power, which made sense in turn 18. So he learned from his mistakes last time, which is kind of cool. We see more people dying. Lelouch takes out all the air support on the top of the government facility. Then he runs into Cornelia, and we get this scene where, again, we get this scene where Lelouch is like, "This looks like," and C2 is like, "Yeah, the Ares Villa," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, so you know the Ares Villa, but you don't tell Lelouch about Charles V2 or any other stuff." It's again, that's the problem with this story. Like they don't. It's really frustrating. I often wonder if it's because C2 was lying to Lelouch on purpose because of the Ragnarok connection, but still, though, it's just this to me, it's a huge problem in the story because the great implications this is implying, implications that you're implying. Then we get this part where, and I don't have the full thing here, so I'll go to it in the video in the episode itself. So I mentioned in the last one, you saw Nina and Cornelia. They were like, they were both upset about Lelouch. You saw at first Nina was kind of upset. She was working on the Nightmare frame, the Ganymede. And you saw Cornelia was also kind of upset because Euphemia just died. So to show another like example of their two perspectives. So you see here, you see Nina's like, Euphemia, and then Cornelia is like, will be avenged. I absolutely love the showing of the two of them because they're both equally upset about Euphemia's death, but for different reasons. We see the Black Knight versus the Black Swan versus the White Swan. Actually, I think it's her hair color. So this is actually like direct symmetry. You see her hair color, then you see it there. Yeah, it's not like not symmetry. I mean metaphor. It's not that deep or anything. Again, he can't tell that she's clearly not the same person, and then she shoots Ogi. And I'm going to say straight out, I made a video discussing about why Mao lived and Euphemia died. And in that video, I mentioned how Lelouch shot her right in the heart. Well, it could have been kidney too, or this area here, or liver, I should mention, and then or even lung, who knows? And it killed her instantly. Valletta is a trained soldier and shoots Ogi in the right spot. Now, granted, she only shoots him once, but he should have died here. I mean, Valletta basically could have finished him off, and I don't understand how Ogi survived this. It's one of those confusing parts of the story. And then, of course, you see the crane fall over because, in case you didn't get the message. But I think Ogi should have died. Him living in this point made no sense in the story, especially when he had less equipment than Euphemia did. This I will agree. I think DX might have mentioned this. I don't remember. But Ogi surviving made no sense in the story. Again, because given that Valletta is a trained soldier and she shot him deliberately in a specific location. She didn't just shoot him randomly. She shot him in a vital organ to kill him. So, yeah, he should have died. Anyway, they're treating him, and Suzaku's trapped. The whole team goes out to save Suzaku because Nelly asked them to. And then Millie's like, all right, we'll go do that. Meanwhile, they're looking for the person who shot Ogi, and they end up running into Nina, who wants to find Zero and, again, destroy everything. Then we get this fight between Cornelia and Lelouch, and Lelouch is basically owned by Cornelia. Now, I've stated many times that in this fight, it shows Lelouch's weakness as a Nightmare Frame pilot. But to be fair, I mean, C2 is with him as well, and they both got owned equally. Although they don't show C2's perspective, so I get the opinion, or the impression, rather, that he was the one piloting it the whole time. And Cornelia really owns him here. And this is why I don't understand why Lelouch is rated so highly in the power department. I saw an article from a website, I don't think it's that popular, called Quote the Anime. And they did a whole like power scaling on the different characters. And they put Lelouch obviously number one because he's always number one. But in reality, like, is he really though? Because, I mean, he basically lost to Cornelia in a slight inferior Nightmare Frame pilot. That's why I'm convinced if I ever did a list of the top 10 Nightmare Frame pilots in Code Geass, Cornelia would probably be like top 3 because, or no, maybe top 5. Hard to say, but she'd be in the top area because she in her much inferior Nightmare Frame basically demolished Lelouch here. Oh, and something else I forgot to mention during the Raxephon review. And side note here, But the Glade is also based on Anubis from Egyptian mythology. I don't know why I forgot to mention that. I said before, like I can't think of many anime that take inspiration from Egyptian mythology, and literally the Anubis is really staring me right in the face. So again, I apologize about that. I don't know why that slipped my mind. So that side note's over. Cornelia was about to finish him off, and then Dalton came at the right time to save him. Save him. I'm not sure what the command that she gave or he gave him to use. It was very specific. Then Dalton dies because screw you, man. Dalton's end was really depressing. Then V2 picks up Nunnally, which is kind of weird because, according to what Charles said, they protected Nunnally and Lelouch by sending them to Japan. If they send them to Japan, then V2 won't kill them, but V2 came to Nunnally, so he wasn't going to kill them. I don't know. I'm confused. But that's, again, why this whole subplot in the story is the worst part of the series, which is, in some respect, not the worst thing ever because at least it's not the main point of the story. It's a sub thing in the background. So that's why I give it a pass, but still not the best stuff there. And that's how the episode ends. It's quite a... I love the whole Black Rebellion during this time. It's too bad we don't see enough of it. That's the problem with Code Geass in a nutshell. Every time I go through the episode, I'm like, I love this scene. I want more of it. The show gives us very little, and it's kind of frustrating. The whole situation with this part here is it is what it is. And Ogi again, I don't know, man. How does he live through this? He must be very lucky. Read some comments, then I have to change my battery, and then we'll move on to 25. The conclusion of R1. So I'll go through some comments real quick, and then, I gotta change the batteries. Okay. Trying to think. Oh, first comment. I have one of the pictures on my channel, and I'll post one the other one. Okay, I'll check it out later. I know you left the stream, but I will definitely check it out. I can even post it. What I'll do is I'll take the photo and I'll post it on the Discord or even my community tab. It was very rude of Zaku to punch Lloyd, and since Lloyd didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, but Lloyd had. You're right, but the thing is, again, Lloyd knew that Zaku wanted to kill Zero. So why would he dangle the keys in front of him like an idiot? I'm not trying to victim blame, but you gotta understand that there's always consequences to your actions. Things are not done in a vacuum. So I don't think Lloyd deserved it, but he was kind of asking for it. And again, those are very dangerous terms because that can lead to awful things. But I think at the point I'm trying to make, don't basically what Zaku did wasn't really justified. But as Lloyd, don't even put yourself in a situation where it could happen. That's all I'm saying. Be great. It could be argued Zaku is the main antagonist of the series. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, yeah, there is some truth to that, especially in R2. Oh, that's easy. Tamaki has to go. At least Rivel doesn't do anything. Rivel's annoying, but he's harmless. Tamaki is flat out not Tamaki is actually worse. So no, Tamaki goes. Facts. Tamaki, yeah, Zero, you're fired. With Vince, oh my god, you're fired. I'm not gonna do the voice here, but what's funny? WWE as a side note, they're in a lot of trouble right now. They released a bunch of wrestlers, and then apparently Triple H is very sick right now, so he's not really running NXT, and Vince McMahon is, and apparently because of that, they're actually in a lot of trouble right now as a company, and with AEW with that awesome promo between CM Punk and MJF. If you guys saw that, if you're wrestling fans here, I have no idea what the demographic of my audience likes to watch, but anyways, they W's in a lot of trouble right now. Since you brought up the Vince McMahon, but yeah, you're fired. To be fair, Tamaki shouldn't have been fired. He should have been shot of a cannon. Because he's still harmful. He was let loose. He's just a menace to society. Yeah, I'm being hyperbolic, but you get the point. Rivel wouldn't flip out all the time, at least. Yeah. A flip-flop, no, he does not. Rivel's pretty consistent. Consistently annoying. The one soldier who saved Cornelia is probably the most loyal nameless soldier in the entire series. Beats even some of the named characters. Yeah, I mean, that dude, he took it. He was like Guilford times 2 there, because he had no problem dying for Cornelia. It's funny. Fennec says he's back. He's going to be gone soon. It's kind of funny. Odysseus was struggling, doesn't know what to do with the Blend Rebellion, which goes to show Lucius was pretty much right. He's mediocre and not a great leader. I mean, at least he admits that. He knows his role, but you're right. Claudia Dalton predicted the end of the battle. If we hold back their advances, their main force is militia. In other words, rabble. I think it Dalton who said that, or was it Guilford? I thought Guilford said that because Dalton the whole time was that Dalton? I thought it was Guilford because Dalton was on his way to help out Cornelia or stop Cornelia. But you're right. That was basically how it was going to go. Absolutely, it was disorganized. I think there's a man with green eyes. Yeah, I just went through it. Yeah, my computer crashed. That's why there's an oops here. Imagine they made the extended cut on Code Geass where you get more screen time development for secondary characters, backstory of Geass, fix the errors, mistakes like the Snyder cut. Well, wasn't the film supposed to follow that role? That's why the films insult me, because I thought they were made to right the wrongs, and all they did was make more wrongs. You can't win. Who wanted Resurrection to be canon? It is canon in the alternate universe. Yeah, it is canon. It's an alternative ending, but it is an end. It's not fan fiction. It's technically canon. It's confusing because I think canon it's like it has to be part of the main universe or something, but it doesn't retcon anything. So canon is very confusing to me. I thought it was. I'm pretty sure Resurrection is canon because it's not like it's made up. It is another alternative of the universe. But depending on who you ask, canon is only the main timeline. So therefore, it's not canon. Again, very confusing stuff. I wonder if Schneider originally planned for Odysseus to be the emperor. He'd be the face of the kind emperor and be well liked, but Schneider would be the one controlling everything. Given the whole Chinese forced arranged marriage, that's a big possibility. Although, because they were going to make him marry Tianzi, I guess they didn't think much of Odysseus. Yeah, one green eyes, two blue eyes. I just looked it up. I went to Google and said it wasn't canon. Again, canon is a very, again, subjective thing. The creators said that both are canon, so there you go. But I've seen different definitions of canon because some say that canon means with the main timeline or not main timeline. So yeah, it's a confusing question for sure. It's too bad the principal Ashford never shows up in this story. And it's funny you say that because wouldn't that have been the perfect time? I mean, Lucius taking over the school. So who does he talk to? A student? Really? That makes no sense. He would talk to the person in charge of the school. I don't know. The creators didn't want to draw the president adults, only wanted to have this covered with or established characters. Yeah, pretty much, but I still don't like it. It makes no sense. Rest in peace, Yoshida and Naomi Inoue. Yeah, Naomi's next episode, but yeah, for sure. The movies were good. I think they were okay. They could have fixed a lot of stuff, though. They could have fixed more stuff, rather. Vijay had a big forehead. He sure did. We can't have parents in the show unless they're for special plot purposes. Yeah, sad as it is, it's very true. Well, Suzaku was trying to kill his people, but after talking to V2, he really triggered that doesn't care. Well, because Zero took away Euphemia from him, the only person who understood him and could be that source of kindness and respect that Suzaku didn't get from everyone else in the story. So in a sense, he didn't just lose Euphemia, he lost a part of himself. That's why he wanted to kill Zero. And in a sense, he lost his world too. You know that old expression, right? To the world, you might be somebody, but to somebody, you might be the world. So when Euphemia was killed, that was everything to Suzaku. He had no reason to live anymore. That's why he's like a hollow, angry shell of himself in R2 because he lost everything. He's just like, I'm going through the motions now because I guess I have to. I'm angry. But ultimately, he changed as a person after Euphemia died, to put it lightly, or to put it simply. I know Lucius wanted to use the Black Knights to protect Nully, but wouldn't it make Ashford his headquarters paint as a target? Also, BK taking students hostage sounds like a bad PR to me. Well, as far as I'll address the second point you mentioned there. When they captured Valletta, Ogi said, if it's a student, let them go. Although later on, they apparently had them all in the basement or something, or the gymnasium. But Ogi told him not to take any of the students prisoners. So that was just Tamaki being an idiot, as far as I know. To the other point, yes, it would make Ashford a big target. At the same time, though, I guess Lucius' thought was if the troops are around Nunnally, then they could protect her if something went wrong. But yeah, it does make it a target. It's a double edged sword there because you do have the forces protecting not only directly. At the same time, though, that means that conflict will be happening in the building. So I could see that. That's a fair point. I love Suzaku's fighting style changed from disarming and disabling to straight up killing, and it was brutal as well. Yeah, Suzaku. That's the thing about Suzaku's character. When he was early on in the story, when he was fighting nightmare frames, he went out of his way to disable stuff, disable different nightmare frames, specifically Tamaki. He saved his life all the time, or spared it rather. But at this point, no. If Suzaku wanted to, he could kill people with ease. That's the crazy part about him. He's seriously overpowered as a nightmare frame pilot, and you see him the first time in this episode. Their strengths are off, and you see just how destructive he is in that nightmare frame. Suzaku's a jerk in his episodes. He should have left Zero alone. Well, we can't blame him. We've argued back and forth about this, but I can't blame Suzaku for his actions here. There's a pattern with Colin and Suzaku's fights. Colin seems to almost win many times, but Suzaku turns around or something happens that prevents Colin from winning. She really has a bad luck. Well, in this case, Suzaku just played her really well. He traded arm for arm. Colin couldn't make that exchange, but he was like, you know what? Look, you could take my arm, but I'll take yours. Which is funny because in Resurrection, she did that same trade with Bitter in that stupid Scorpion mech. Not mech. It's a Nightmare frame, but it's like a frame coat that goes to a Giga Fortress. So during the Giga Fortress battle, she used that same tactic against Suzaku, or the same tactic Suzaku used against her against Bitter. Unfortunately, it didn't work though. But Suzaku just flat out beat her with strategy there. There wasn't any like overpowering ability. He traded blows. He traded his arm for hers, which is something Colin couldn't afford to do. I probably thought that was a really good scene. And Colin was trying too. I mean, she was able to fly around the buildings, not fly, but grab all of her arms. So it wasn't like she was complete helpless. It's just that Suzaku, was smarter there. Why won't you leave me alone? Suzaku, you killed my girlfriend. Oh, yeah, exactly. I don't know. Oh, by the way, don't write Jap, because apparently if you write Jap, it will get, removed from YouTube. FYI. Glider King found that out last week. Suzaku killed his own father. Unlike Lush, he did it on purpose. Oh, god dang. Yes, he did. I'm surprised Nelly didn't put pieces together that Lush is Zero, because both have a similar voice, hatred towards Britannia. I know Nelly is not as smart as her two older brothers, but still. Yeah, I guess not. Look, how did no one feel like Colin was remember the Black Knights? I mean, how many women do you know with red spiky hair in that style? I mean, she always, even when she's with the Black Knights, her hair always pops out of her hat. How did no one figure this out? In fact, when Colin is wearing the mask and she's with Zero in the Ashford Academy, how did no one know that was Colin? Who else would that have been? How many light-skinned, red-haired girls look like that? Man, that reveal was so silly. I mean, Lelouch figured it out. Now, granted, he did see her when he was, he did see her actual face during the first episode, but still, kind of dumb there. I swear, Ogi is so stupid. He literally trusted a woman who nearly killed him, trusted her more than Lelouch. Yeah, well, that's R2 for you. Lelouch wasn't involved in that. True. The fact that Lelouch mocked Dalton before killing him, I'll be honest, I wanted Lelouch to get his ass kicked. Low key, Rosary Britannia. Yeah, it was messed up. Dalton's a good guy. Thinking, should I tell Lelouch about V2, Red Rock Connection, and her mother is alive? Nah. I mean, we'll come back to bite me. You know what? That's basically in a nutshell. Why would you tell me any of that stuff? You're like, we're accomplices. You must trust me. Lucy's like, why should I trust you? I don't want you to die. Why don't you want me to die? Contract? What's the contract? And that's all we get. Crickets. That's the feeling of the writing. It really bothers me a lot. Kind of a bias towards Britannia, since I think they're more interesting characters than the Black Knights. I think all around, I would definitely agree. I mean, Dalton and Guilford and Cornelia are more interesting than Lelouch collectively, not individually. Lelouch, Tamaki, Ogi, Colin. I think collectively, I think the Britannia is definitely more interesting. Even Jeremiah, right? At least Rivo isn't violent, exactly. I feel like Dalton was made to be a character that the audience would root against. I feel like the way he's drawn and his smug smile makes him get the impression he was meant to be hated. I think that was more Guilford because Dalton was the only reasonable person in the entire story. I mean, he was okay with Suzaku. He took care of Cornelia. He was very respectful of his enemies. He even told in Naruto, he said, "Listen, these are burais. These are specifically designed or new versions of the glass codes. Don't underestimate them." I mean, Dalton took his enemies seriously. He was okay working with Suzaku. He was the second person to clap for when he got his knight, when he became Euphemia's knight. He tried to stop Euphemia from shooting the Japanese at the special ministry zone of Japan. I mean, yes, Dalton might look like a rugged, evil jerk, but he never acted like it. So maybe his design, but his actual actions, definitely not. Claudia Dalton, one of the greatest glass of knights, said it. He was talking with Guilford. Oh, okay. I thought so. I was like, oh, you said Claudio Dalton, not Andreas Dalton. My bad. Duh. The light novel Lucius Odysseus would be a perfect emperor. Well, the light novel is wrong. I'm just kidding. I haven't read it. I should, though. He's one of my favorite characters. He was loyal, respectful, didn't discriminate against Suzaku, and was with Cornelia at the end. Not Lucius or Schneider. He was in the Resurrection, too. He was? Was he at the party? Or was he part of the Black Knights when they went against the Zilksten troops? I'll look it up later. It's a good little Easter egg. Now, I think about why doesn't Luch/Zero tell Saiko, "Hey, Saiko, would you take Nelly somewhere safe so that no one could take her hostage so Black Knights could take the school?" You know what? That would make sense too. Maybe Zero should have given masks to the Black Knights to disguise their identities. You know what? That would have been a good idea too. Ooh, you know what? Didn't think about that, but technically, yeah. Didn't everyone see them? Ooh, that's a good point. And by the way, they had masks. Remember, they wore them in stage 8. I think an ideal world, this would be a perfect emperor, stayed by Lucia at the end of the light novel. Again, which light novel? Please state the name of it. I'll look it up later. Colin wears her hair done to be fair, and Demeter is very different. At least she wasn't wearing glasses, like Superman. Dalton adopted orphans. At another point, yeah, he adopted not really he's a good person, right? He adopted also David, Claude. Yeah, exactly. He was a good person in that respect too. I mean, no matter how you look at it, Dalton was a good guy. He didn't deserve that at all. He was at the wedding also with Lloyd and Cecile in the opening. Really? Let's look it up real quick. Let's look it up. Okay. Let's see. That's Gino, right? I think that's Gino. Marriage is very important. Wouldn't you agree, Chiba? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's so pissed. That's funny. Those are the prodigies. Oh shoot, I wanted to do F11. Okay. Let's see. This is the prelude. Hold on. Okay. All right, that's the party right there. There's the baby. Okay. Hold on. Did I skip it? I must have skipped it. Hold on a second. Huh, why is it a mess? Anyways. Oh. So here is that him? You said in the beginning, right? I don't think that's Claudio. Did he have I thought he had blonde hair. That's him? Hold on. We gotta go to Wikipedia to search of stuff up. Okay. Dalton. Claudio Dalton. Oh, he did have gray hair. Okay, my bad. That's totally him. I didn't say it all here, but yeah, that's him. It must be him. Um, Resurrection, maybe they don't even mention the resurrection, but you know what? I think that's him. Now, one thing we should check real quick. Let's go to the beginning of this episode. Actually, let's not do it that way because then I'm gonna get a headache. Let me go back one. Let's see. Stage 24. Towards the end, well, near end, right? Because they were talking with the Glaston Knights. He's one of the people here, right? I think that's him. We don't see his face. Of course we don't. All right. Next strategy. We'll go to the video itself. Okay, let's see. No, it probably is him. I just want to see a okay. Okay, Cornelia, we get it. A little faster, honey. Okay, that's the blue hair guy, blonde hair guy. Okay, we get it. We don't see his face though. Was it early on in the episode we see the Glasston Knights? Oh, wait a minute. That was it. I'm an idiot. He's right here. Hold on. Hold on. I just saw him. We have a sighting. Hold on. 3, 2, 1. This is him. We're going to pause it in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Ah, fool. Open your eyes. Okay. Now let me go back to the other one. All right. So is this guy? This guy. That is the question. Are these the same people? He looks like him, doesn't he? You know what? That might be him. Same nose too. Same design of the nose. Yeah, I guess that's him, isn't it? That's funny. All right, let's. And he said the wedding he was there too, so I'll check that real quick. Let's see. Hope you guys are getting a headache from this. I'm just trying to go as fast as I can. Okay. Have their party. He defeats the that guy. What's his name? Faulkner's son. So was he here? Maybe. I don't see him. Yeah, he's not here. I mean, he might be wearing a mask, but other than that, we don't see him. Okay, let's go to the wedding. Hopefully, I don't have to actually go to take out the footage. All right, so we see that's Raxephon and Lloyd. Clearly are not hooking up. They're just friends. There's Nina. Here's the 3 people who piloted the Nightmare Frame. Is that him? I think that's him right here. No, I think he's right here. Let me zoom in. I think this is him. That has to be him, right? Who else would this be? I'll grab the footage just to be sure. That's probably him, though. I don't recall Gino being friends with him, but that doesn't mean it's not him. Okay. Yeah, that's probably it. Let me just grab the footage real quick. Give me a second here to go grab it. That's him, right? Okay, I thought so. Okay, we don't have to go further with this. So basically, in a nutshell, this dude, he's pretty cool. We see him a lot in the story. It's a nice little Easter egg if you've been paying attention. I wasn't, obviously. All right, where are we at now? 1 hour, 45 minutes. Okay, let me check the rest of my notes for the episode before we move on to 25. Well, I got to check my battery first and move on. Let's see. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Little minor note here. When they take over the school, 1 second. I forgot to mention. Okay, yeah, here. So Tamaki faces off against Rivel, and I was like, man, the ultimate matchup. Tamaki versus I'm so bad at this. Tamaki versus Rivals. You know, who can beat who? I'm like, God, could they just kill each other? But anyhow, I thought it was kind of funny. They face off in the story. It's like the show knew that I wanted to see my favorite characters fight amongst each other, which is pretty funny. Okay, what else we got here? Oh, yeah, another thing too. I forgot to mention this. At the very end of the episode, Where is it? Again, a flaw in the story. That's why the right arc connection is kind of poorly done here. So when C2 when V2 comes to see Nunnally, Nunnally says, "Oh, is that you, C2?" And V2 is like, "Oh, did you say C2? That means she's here, right?" I mean, like it's just Jesus Christ, it's just God, I don't even know. Like, were they trying to capture C2? So Nunnally revealed that she was here the whole time. Did they know that? Who the heck knows? Okay, all right. So that's the end of that. I gotta change my batteries, and then we will move on to 25. So let me just you know the drill at this point. You guys have been here. It's in your first rodeo. You know how this goes. So let me remove this and remove myself. I'll be back in a couple seconds. Why did that happen? One second, I gotta fix this. Why did it do that? I didn't mess with anything. I didn't do anything. Why did it zoom out like that? Okay, now we're back to our regular scheduled program. Let me get rid of this. Let me add this to the stream because last time I didn't do that and I missed you. You guys are like, we can't see anything. I'm like, I totally get it. A couple more comments and we'll move on to 25. I ended up rooting for Cornelia by the end of R1, even though she was an antagonist. Yeah, she's a cool character. Until she gets ruined in R2. I wonder if Charles knew about V2's plan to kidnap Nunnally and bring her back to the royal family. Well, I believe so because didn't Charles say to Nunnally, "I'll talk to you when this is over"? So yeah, I think he was aware. Every time I see the lasso destroy Gurren's surge arm, it was expected a line from Monty Python the Holy Grail. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. It's just a flesh wound. Charles be like, when I kill this little shit, it's gonna be cathartic. I won't have it V2 never interfere in Lucius win. Uh, will Lucius win? Who knows? V2's involvement in the story was horribly handled, and that's being very generous. Okay, so now that I'm done with this, let's close that out. Not yet. We're not doing that yet. Whoopsie, that just smashed my thing. So aggressive. Eesh. Okay. Smacked my slime collector, aka the pop filter. Okay, 25. So 25 is the conclusion of R1. One of the best conclusions in anime history. Well, for a season, anyways. Cornelia and Lelouch have their discussion about what happened to his mother. And we learn a couple important things. Number one, we learn that she didn't kill her, which was kind of obvious. Number two, we learned that she was protecting Marianne, but ultimately abandoned her post because Marianne asked her to. Then Lelouch said, but wait a minute, you did research. What happened? And Cornelia said, well, Schneisel delivered the body. And that's all we learned from Cornelia. Which is kind of odd to me because if he fully researched this, wouldn't we have learned more about the situation other than the that one instance? So I'm a little confused about that, but that was the case there. So that's the situation there. C2 tells Lelouch, she says, Nellie's been kidnapped. I know because she's the reason you live. No, C2, you know this because you can tell other immortals are in your area or other Geass users. That's how she knew because she could detect V2, but she doesn't tell Lelouch this for some reason. And eventually they go in to go rescue C2. But before that, they got to fight Jeremiah. And by the way, the 3D in Jeremiah's appearance was pretty cool. One of my favorites in the series. They were going to grab Cornelia, but he prevented him from doing so. They get into a locked-in conflict with Lelouch instead in the Gawain. Meanwhile, Bartley's upset because, they couldn't restrain Jeremiah. We get that cool intro again, and then we're back to the conflict. We see one of my favorite scenes of all Code Geass. This is actually, I should have said before, this is my favorite scene in the entire story when Cecile puts on this outfit. I'm just kidding. It's not. It is a nice, it's a very nice scene, though. And Lloyd and Cecile talk about people and emotions, how you can't control them. And we see Cecile pile a nightmare frame because she's going to help save. She's going to actually help save Suzaku, which is cool. Meanwhile, Rakshada is trying to break into the Lancelot because that was their agreement when Lelouch helped them capture Suzaku. Then Suzaku gets a call. Suzaku, Jesus, this is Lelouch. Jesus, Lelouch calls Ogi, but he picks up the phone instead. I forgot his name. I think it's Yoshida. I think it's Yoshida. No, Yoshida was the one who was killed in the Yoshida was killed in the Raiko. What is this guy? I don't know this guy. I always forget this guy's name. So frustrating. It's like side characters. I just I can't keep it on my brain. No, just all right. 1 second. His name is Zero. Kento. No. Fail. Yoshitaka. So there's Yoshida and there's Yoshitaka. That's it. Minami Yoshitaka. Okay, I got it. We're good now. So when Lelouch calls him, he doesn't even care the fact that Ogi was shot. He said, "I'll find a replacement later." The girl in the wheelchair. Now here's what's kind of confusing to me. You think this might come up in later discussions. Now, the only reason why I guess it doesn't, the fact that he wanted to go in a wheelchair, was because when Minami was going to bring it up earlier, Ogi and Toto both stood with Zero, so Minami would have stood alone. Even though, technically speaking, Lelouch kind of spilled the beans about Nunnally. He calls Rivel, and again, hangs up when Nunnally's not with them. Meanwhile, the school patrol was going to help out Suzaku at the same time. And we'll get to why that was a big nuisance. Nice little symbolism. Lloyd is sitting in the shadows while Steel is standing in the light. Oh, you know what? I never thought of that. That's pretty funny. I'll highlight it real quick. That's pretty funny. Okay, then we get to this part, and again, this is why the writing here is kind of frustrating. Because Lucia's like, okay, C2 said C2 said that we are accomplices, and I will, I don't want you to die. And Lucia's like, okay, that's convenient. Why should I trust you? And the answer is he should trust her. I don't want you to die. Okay, why don't you want me to die? Again, it's C2 is basically hiding everything from Lelouch, and the most annoying part is that they never ever bring it up later on. Like, here's why this is so damaging, right? And again, just you guys know, like I wrote like a whole just a free form discussion about this because I was really upset. In turn 15, when Lelouch learns about C2's real plan, and even in turn 21, when the Ragnarok connection happened, he never once questioned C2 for lying to him in either of these two instances. He just kind of goes, okay, whatever, I mean, C2 deliberately lied to him this whole time, and Lucius doesn't even question her on it. That's why it's so frustrating to me. It would be one thing if she lied to him, and then later on he questions her on it, but he doesn't. Now, in turn, in the films, they made a scene to kind of address it, and you guys pointed out in the compilation I made that I released last week, where C2 jokes with Lucius saying, "You never asked," right? It was in the second one. During this scene here, and I definitely have the footage because I was going through this. Like, yeah, see, she says you never asked. Like, how come you didn't tell me a woman who didn't tell about the Emperor's Geass? And he's like, well, you never asked. So basically, the entire story is like, well, you never asked. That's her explanation for it. That's not a good explanation for it. This should have been handled much better. It's an unfortunate problem with the story. The main stuff going on is awesome, right? Lucia and C2, they're fighting Jeremiah. Really cool stuff. And you get to see again why Jeremiah is an elite Nightmare Frame pilot. You understand why when people say Colin defeated him, that was a big deal because Jeremiah is one of the strongest Nightmare Frame pilots in the series. They commented all the time during this conflict. And of course, Lucia uses C2 to fire into this building to hit Jeremiah from behind. Even though, I mean, was it really a sneaky tactic? Nah, I don't think so. Winning is all that matters. Eventually, okay, now here's where things get really, stupid, okay? So the Ashford Academy students come in and say, especially Shirley, Zero wouldn't hurt us. And Shirley's like, because she thinks he's Lelouch. And Tommy's like, I know the man better than anyone else, okay? What are we supposed to do with these students? And eventually, and this is really what they said, we're going to kill them. That was their plan. He was going to kill Suzaku when he went on the Nightmare Frame of the Lancelot, so they wouldn't kill the students. Then Tommy was like, you know what? Just kill everybody. And I'm thinking to myself, are you out of your mind? So Lelouch said, or Zero said, don't hurt any of the students. Tommy's like, well, who cares? I'm going to kill them anyways. Tamaki is not only incompetent, but he's an asshole. He's evil, man. He was going to kill everyone here. Thank God Cecile came in there. And by the way, Cecile destroys the entire force at the Ashford Academy. I'm not saying the Black Knight presence was impressive at the school, but Cecile basically destroyed everybody in one sitting. So she was pretty dominant in this small part of the story. I love how Lloyd looks at Rakshata like, Rakshata. Of course it was you. Love the expression he makes there. Good stuff. And again, Tommy getting owned. There's even a part... There's a part later on, they don't emphasize it, but Tamaki gets a Nightmare Frame pilot into Nightmare Frame to fight Cecile, and she destroys him. It was epic. I'll try to find the footage when we get to it. Meanwhile, they destroy the Gefion Disturbers, and then she gives Lancelot a Sutherland arm. And what's cool about this scene is that they're subtly showing you, and this is kind of obvious, but they're explaining that the parts of Nightmare Frames can be attached to other ones. Again, they don't explain this with boring exposition. They just show you that if you take an arm, you can attach another one, and the way it fastens is kind of cool. And we see that again in this episode when Colin gets her arm replaced, and we also see this again when the Gurren becomes a flight enabled version in turn 6. So again, a really subtle way to show and not tell how the Nightmare Frames work. Also, fun fact here, this is the second time in the series where you see a Nightmare Frame flying in the whole story. Now, technically, you have the Gwaine, but what I mean is but before the Gwain, none of the Nightmare frames ever flew in the story. Then we made a flow attachment system for the Lancelot. This is the second one in the entire series. So it's kind of cool that Cecile drove the second one ever. And she had a custom made Sutherland with the same arm shields. They're called, what are they called? Blaze Luminous arm shields that the Lancelot also has. So this Sutherland unit is actually quite unique, as it had a lot of the attributes from the Lancelot, which was kind of cool. Again, it's small details like that. I really appreciate this. Of course, she also tells Sako to go after Zero, which is really epic. Again, really good stuff. I love the whole rescue situation. And of course, Lloyd's like, my fiance's at the school, so obviously nothing bad could happen to her. Right. Okay. Then we get to the point where I'm gonna put a poll out now because I'm curious your thoughts on it. Let me get the poll out really quickly, because the way this works is, wait, can I do a poll? I can't do a poll. It's so weird. During the Let me try it here. Oh, okay. That's why I couldn't do a poll. All right, I'll make a poll real quickly. All right, here we go. The poll is this. Let's see. Do you agree with Lelouch's? Okay. I'm trying to think the best way to put this. Okay. Does Lelouch? Okay. I'm trying the best way to put this. Abandoning, did Lelouch deserve? Okay. I got it. Did Lelouch deserve the Black Knight's? Okay. Was the Black Knight betrayal justified because of this scene? Black Knight betrayal justified because Lelouch abandon them here. Okay. Sorry, I think a while to come up. This is why my videos take forever to come up. It just takes forever to come up with an idea here, or to put out some of the words. Okay. So we're going to say yes. I'm going to say no. So the question is, was the Black Knight's betrayal justified because Lelouch abandoned them here? All right, there's your poll. Let's find out what people think. Hopefully it comes up at some point. Because in this scene here, Lelouch tells Toto that, yeah, I'm leaving you guys, and oh well, piss off. What can I tell you? And as much as I respect Lelouch having to go after Nully, because again, without Nully, there's no point to any of this. At the same time, though, Lelouch basically abandon everyone to their deaths. And that's why this kind of bothers me. It's like, it makes sense why Lelouch would abandon them. At the same time, though, like they were all screwed as a result. Asahina said that, like, even though To's a good leader, he doesn't have the whole perspective. The entire time in this story, you see Lelouch has like that big HUD. And and because of the HUD, because of that HUD, he could literally see the entire battlefield. So, in retrospect, like, Toad didn't have that perspective. So he basically abandoned them to die. And that's why I was like, whoa, I mean, come on, man. You can't just do that. And he did it for Nutley's sake. I was thinking a better solution would have been this, okay? Help the Black Knights win, and then send troops to Kamina Island to surround it so they can't transport Nutley away. As far as Lelouch knows, they don't have teleportation technology. Although Lelouch never questions how he got to Kamina Island in the first place, but that's a whole nother plot for another time. But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that he acted really emotionally here, and he could have used the Black Knights to go to Kamina Island. Now, granted, no one has a flight system except for him, but Kalon was able to use a flight transporter. I think they had. So they could have transported units there, or he could have gone there later on in the story. There was no need for him to necessarily do it at this time. Again, it was a very knee-jerk reaction to the situation, and it wasn't that great. We see the Ashford Academy students being evacuated, and again, Millie is the one directing traffic here. Aren't there any student faculty members here? I'm like really confused why it's just Millie doing all this stuff. Again, like, I understand she's the main character, but like, really? Meanwhile, the Blindness are running away with all the people, including Ogi, who's on a hospital table or a table, and he's what's it called? Somehow he's still alive. So it doesn't. I don't think it shows it here. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, so let me show you the scene I was talking about. Let me pull up the episode real quick here. Actually, I'll just no need to show this to you while I'm. You don't want to see me fumbling around through my mess of files, man. I got files for days. Okay, so I'll check the poll in a little bit here. I just wanted to throw it out there. Okay, so during this battle, where is it? Right before here. So Toto's like, what are you doing here? And Asahina says, I mean, he's a good strategist, but he doesn't have the entire perspective. That's one Blood Knight member. That's not the one. That's not Tamaki's unit, by the way. And again, Cecile is literally saving everyone's lives here, which is kind of awesome stuff. I'm not sure how how Ogi's still alive, but whatever. We see firing from the Britannia building, and I believe it was. It was a very subtle scene. So frustrating. Where was it? Hold on, look at the fast forward going. I really wanted to show you this. It was a really good scene. I mean, I thought it was a good scene. I'm not saying it was like here it is. So see Tamaki? So he's in. Oh man. I mean, I love Cecile's character, but what she does here is the best, okay? Tamaki's firing, and Cecile takes out both of them. Hold on. She took out both of them. Am I lost? I thought she took out both of them. She did not take out both of them? Uh-oh. Am I misremembering? Do I have problems? I thought she took out both of them. I guess not. Okay, I must be a lunatic. I thought she took out Tamaki. Oh well. Ignore all that. I thought she took him out. I guess I was misremembering that other guy. Okay. If I was a judge in a court case, I would say, you know what? Forget what you just saw. Forget all the evidence. All right, so what's the polling data? We have 6 votes, all 100%. Well, there you go. That's all you have to know. I'll end the poll. Okay. All right, so now we're back to our regular scheduled program. So the Black Knights are running away. Jeremiah's back. The forces are attacking the Japanese from the tower. They're firing bullets. That's another thing too. When Suzaku got his nightmare frame powered up, what was funny was that Cornelia called him right afterwards. And I was thinking, man, that was good timing, right? If she had called him 5 minutes earlier, his nightmare frame would have been out of power and he never would have got the phone call. So I was like, that's really good timing. I guess Cornelia was very lucky that she called at the right time. And she makes Suzaku a knight for both honor and was a title and an honor or something. So he was officially a knight. He sends her to stop Zero and also redeem or clear Euphemia's name. This is technically Cornelia's last time in the series where she is officially a princess because she gives it all up to save Euphemia or to clear her name in R2. So it's kind of a cool scene here. It's basically the last time we see her in her current position. Detard, Rakshata, everyone is confused why Lelouch abandoned them. Again, that's why I posed the question earlier. Like, why would he leave us? Yeah, Asahina here says, yeah, Toto is very good, but he doesn't have the whole perspective. And Detard took over Ogi's duties, but the problem is he had his own as well, so it kind of messed the whole system up there. Eventually, Ogi calls Colin to go after Lelouch, and remember I mentioned before with the arm? They attach one to hers as well. And it's not actually I think it's a Gloucester arm, not a Sutherland arm. But the same concept still applies. She gets the airship, and she follows Suzaku, which again I liked. And then we see Cecile fighting. Right, she takes out one nightmare frame, but she doesn't take out the other ones. Because again, the Granny Maid appeared, and there's a temporary truce because it's a nuclear bomb. They didn't want it to die. Because Nina's a freaking nut job. And even Lloyd's like, did you finish it, Nina? And yeah, it's pretty bad. It's so bad, even Tamaki had to step aside and say, you know what? You know what? I'm a lunatic. I don't know what I'm doing. I disobey everyone's orders, but hey, I don't want to die, so I won't get involved in this. And Nia's like, where's Zero? And Luke's like, if I lose Nutley, what was the point to everything? I'm like, yeah, but you just let everyone to dry, man. You can't just, ugh. Frustrating stuff. Then when they land on Comet Island, this is the part, as I said, in these episodes, the main story is excellent. The side plot is where things go to heck. So Alush asks C2, do you recognize this place? He goes, not this one. And he says, okay, so there are others. Was the person who captured Nully have gas power? And she says, no. Or I don't know. And she was saying, it's the truth. And he's like, I don't doubt that. We're accomplices. C2 is lying to him because remember, she can detect a immortal, right? So if she knew that Nully was captured, then she knows the person was associated with Geass ability. And the fact that Lelouch doesn't even question how she knows that Nully was kidnapped shows the stupidity behind this scene. It's not smart on any level. It's really frustrating because the whole setup for this is the Ragnarok connection. And for the life of me, I don't know what they're doing here. It's the only way I can rationalize this whole thing is that when they made R1, they had no idea what they were doing. This wasn't fully planned out, seat of their pants. Maybe R2 is a thing, maybe R2 is not a thing. And that's why it's so frustrating. I'm like, okay, so you're saying that like you don't question how she knows. Then when she says that the person had it is not involved with Geass, Lucia's like, yeah, that makes sense. A supernatural being kidnapped my sister because it had to be a supernatural being. How else would she have gone to Comet Island, right, in a matter of seconds? Because she was literally in the school, and then she wasn't in the school, right? That wasn't like she left the school in a matter of seconds, and he doesn't question it. And that's the frustrating part here. The plot just keeps going. Characters just keep accepting weird stuff. And this goes, the core of Code Geass, and one of the issues with it is that you have this problem where you just can't keep things consistent or keep things at all. I'm like, what's consistent here? Nothing. It's a problem with the series. And I think all they had to do, in all honesty, is just not have the Ragnarok connection and instead just focus on C2's wish and just go that route. They overcomplicated this for no reason. And unlike Raxephon, which I discussed earlier in this stream, there are no puzzle pieces to connect. There's nothing. We get nothing. You get nothing. Good day, sir. I said good day, sir. But enough of crapping on the plot. Let's get to the positives here, though. So when the Geass trap triggers, which by the way she said was triggered by, and she was interrupted. She was going to say V2, but of course Lelouch didn't ask, so whatever. And then we see C2's past in their version of World War II. It wasn't actually World War II. She gets shot in the head. We see her burned at the stake. She was torture weapons, all that stuff. And Lelouch says, again, he's messed up by it. And of course, here is when she got her the code for the first time. Lelouch tells C2 that even though she lost all her memories and she, everyone who was ever kind to her has been lost in time, he says, you're not alone. I'm here with you. We're accomplices. C2 gets very emotional after that. He asks her how she's doing, and she says she's fine. Who you're talking to. She's kind of snappy at him. Jeremiah reappears again, and C2 essentially sacrifices herself to destroy Jeremiah and save Lelouch. Now, there was a complaint from DX, which I will address here. He asked, how did C2 not die when she blew up with the nightmare frame? I guess the better question is, how did Jeremiah not die? But, C2's immortal, so... And Jeremiah is a cyborg. I don't think I have to say anything else at this point. They're not normal human beings. And if you guys remember, we just went over it. Jeremiah was kind of based around C2, meaning they're both immortal. I'm not saying Jeremiah is immortal in the same way C2 is, but they are both designed for the same project. So I wonder if Jeremiah had some of the elements of C2 that made him immortal, or like a robot immortal, not like my parts get regenerated from C's World Immortal, if that makes any sense. So that's why they both survived, if you were wondering. Anyhow, before that stuff happens, though, we have this really wonderful scene where after she kisses him, Lelouch tells C2 not to die, and she goes, who are you talking to? And he goes, do you have a point? Again, I think this was the turning point where the two of them went from friends to potentially lovers, because there were other parts where there was kind of fun flirting. This is the first time where they literally had both acknowledged they cared for each other more than just accomplices. And again, the kiss and then this little exchange here, it's a good sign there was something brewing that wasn't just simple friends. Now we get to, again, Dalton here kicking ass. Britannia was about to wipe out the Black Knights without Zero, and you could definitely see the difference because they were losing. Naomi dies, and I will say that Naomi's death in the story is really depressing because it happens, and then we see that Kento's upset. I think he was in love with her, but we don't know for sure. And that's kind of it. There's no real memorial for her. There's one part in turn, oh god, what was it, 1920? I think it was 20, where there's a picture of Naomi with a bunch of the other Black Knight members who have died. But that's kind of it, though. Naomi's death is really depressing because she's like anyone else in an average soldier. She just dies in the conflict, and that's kind of it. It's a really sad moment in the series. One of the saddest in the series. It kind of just gets glossed over, which is depressing. And then, of course, Toto tries his best to keep things going, but ultimately it just doesn't work. As Dieter mentions, he doesn't have the charisma, and as Asahito mentioned, he doesn't have the whole scope of the battle. I mean, they were following Lelouch's plan to defeat Britannia, not Toto's plan. So Lelouch knew all the intricate elements of it, the backup strategies, the alignment of the troops. All Toto was an art piece on the chessboard. But Lelouch is the one who was controlling the chessboard. So the fact that Toto had to take over not only his own piece, but the board itself is why they end up losing. It was very depressing. Literally everyone was betrayed by Lelouch at this point. And then, of course, we get to the epic confrontation. Lelouch is touching the doors. I think he thought that Nelly was like in the doors. I'm not sure. Like in C's world, again, it's really bizarre stuff. But the cool part is Suzaku comes in there before he had the chance to do anything. I like how you see Suzaku's side of his head and then Lucia's side. They've done that before in this show, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, they have their confrontation. Colin happens to be there as well. He shoots Lelouch in the head, well, the top of the Zero mask, to reveal the ultimate reveal, which is that the entire time, Lelouch was Zero. And Suzaku's like, I always thought it was you. Colin is emotionally depressed and distressed. And the thing I'll say about this is no bearing on Colin's character. It doesn't make her seem like a weak person because ultimately what happened here was the person she idolized, the person she followed, was the very person that she never liked, which was Lelouch, because she hated Lelouch as a student in Ashford. She constantly had fights with him about not using his intelligence to help anyone else. And the whole time he was the guy she didn't like. It was very distressing. You know, she found out that the person, I mean, not the fact he wasn't Britannia, but the fact he was using him for his own gains. He admitted to it. Her whole life was pretty much shattered in a matter of seconds. That's why she's reacting this way. Even strong people tend to fall when their whole motivations and reasons for living are not what they thought they were. And that's the sad part about this moment in Colin and Lelouch here, because she was ultimately betrayed by his actions. Then we get to this part where Suzaku is like, I should have rushed when I had the chance. And then Lelouch is like, we should help Nunnally. Please, let's join forces or whatever. And I will say one thing, okay? I don't agree with the CBR article when it said that Lelouch uses Suzaku self-servingly, because I don't think he does. Except in this one case right here where Lelouch pretty much knows that what he's telling Suzaku is asinine. I mean, this is right after Euphemia died, and he wants to use Suzaku to go and rescue Nunnally. And he's like, why would you, what? And he said, well, you know what? You killed your father. Well in pity, when you have the chance. I mean, it's just, Lelouch was so tone deaf in these last 10 minutes of the episode. Not only did he abandon the Black Knights, but he also tried to convince Suzaku to help him out when he knew he wouldn't, because again, his only priority was Nunnally, and he wasn't rationally thinking at this point. And again, Colin has just lost it, which again, I completely understand. Then Lelouch is like, if you shoot me, I'll put the Sakuradite on, you'll blow the Sakuradite. even though he could just rip it off him, which is what happens in R2. And Suzaku holds him a mistake. You want to betray the role, like the role betrayed you. They eventually get into they both get into like this little like shooting situation where they're both gonna fire at each other, and then they shoot. We see Nellie's face, and the episode ends. And that's the end of R1. How sad is that? One of the craziest cliffhangers in anime history. Two best friends shooting at each other, and they both fire at the same time. We don't know what the outcome of that was. And that's R2 in a nutshell. R1 in a nutshell. R1 in a nutshell. Crazy stuff. For the most part, it's a really good story. And again, I liked it better R2 because it was more grounded in reality compared to R2, especially with the writing. The writing was much stronger. There's great conflicts in the story. From beginning to end, it was leading up to this point of Luce stopping Cornelia and learning about his mother's killer. Unfortunately, he didn't learn enough. So there is that. Let me just check the notes I have, and then we'll read some comments, and we'll do some other stuff too. Yeah, Tamaki. Okay, they had to surrender, but she didn't take them out. Also, Tamaki should have been fired for nearly killing all the students at Ashford. Just saying. See, I thought Cecile wiped out the squad, but I guess I was wrong. It was right before. I don't want to do it again, but it was right before Lelouch abandoned everyone abandoned everyone. She took out a bunch of people. I guess it was just that one unit. Anyways. Also, Null wasn't even on Common Island. That's a good point, too. Nully wasn't even on Common Island when they got there. So where the hell did Nully go? I mean, I think she was in C's world, but why didn't C2 mention that to Lelouch either? It's just weird because she said, go to Common Island to save your sister, but don't tell Lelouch that she might be in the thought elevator. Again, it's really strange stuff. She was trying to help him out, but she wasn't. It was, it's like, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, I literally ranted in my notes. I'm not going to go over them again, but I was a little upset. Yeah, R1 ends with C2 leaving Lelouch, asking him to return, and R2 ends with the opposite, where Lelouch leaves and C2 asks him to return, which I kind of liked. No one died because that's another thing too. One of the parts of the story they kind of spoil is that where is it? Which I don't know if they did it on purpose or not. It could have been an accident on the story part. But one of the plot threads before end of R1, right here, was Nina using the granny maid. If you notice, it's like it isn't used here. So I don't think it ever went off because everyone seems to be okay at this point. So I'm guessing she never hit the button. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but it looked like to me that everything was okay at that point. Unless that scene was a mere snapshot of the previous one where Nina was contemplating hitting the button. Either way you look at it, that one kind of was like, I think they gave away that one. Let's see. What's I got here? Despite the circumstances, yeah, the whole Lelouch helmet coming up was a good moment. Suzaku always suspected Lelouch, and he... I think Lelouch must have panicked because he should have known Suzaku wouldn't have helped him. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And Colin panicking makes sense as well. Ironically, this is another part two. Suzaku says, I'll take care of Nunnally. And Lelouch is like, Suzaku, Lelouch, all that stuff. But in R2 and in R1, he wanted to take care of Nunnally. So in the end, like, why was he upset? He wants Suzaku in stage 17 to take care of her. He was upset that Euphemia was the one taking all of his attention over Nunnally. So I'm not sure why that upset Lelouch. Maybe because of circumstances, but I'm not sure. All right, let's go through the comments. And then, while we're in the comments, I'll load up Jeff's area code while I'm doing that. Bam. Hold on, actually. Let me just turn the sound a little bit. Okay. Let's go to the comments real quick here, and let me change my banner to not confuse anyone that we are doing Genesis RE Code gameplay. My AP recovered. Nice. All right, now to the comments. Okay, where are we? Where are we, guys? Up, up, up. At least the OP. Okay, so first comment here. At least OP3 is better than OP2, which I still don't get how people like 2 more than 3. Yeah, it was OP2 is not good. Suzaku, stand aside. Colin, where's Zero? Colin, tis the best scratch. Suzaku, a scratch. Your Gurren's arm's off. Colin, no, it isn't Suzaku. Well, what's that? Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention. So here's something interesting about that conflict since you just brought it up. When Suzaku goes to fight Colin, right? He tells her that Lelouch or Zero betrayed everyone, or he's hiding something from them. And Colin's like, I don't believe anything you say. And instead of telling Colin that he has a supernatural ability which he uses to control people, he instead just says, "Where's Zero?" I'm thinking, dude, just tell her the truth. I'm thinking of Aladdin. Tell her the truth. He completely he like had a good opportunity to spill the beans, and he didn't, which was kind of weird to me. But that's pretty common. Um, you actually hear Cornelia's bones and her arm crack in this scene. Took her over to hear for them. Really? I didn't know her bones actually cracked. You know what? I'm gonna make a note to look that up later. Let me just here. Listen to her bones cracking, and by her I mean Cornelia. Okay, I'll look it up later. Maybe C2 didn't tell Lelouch about her past with V2, Margot and Charles, because she was afraid that Lelouch wouldn't trust her anymore if he knew the truth. Well, uh, here's the thing, though, right? Wouldn't that make her more trustworthy that she, revealed her whole past? I mean, what's more suspicious in your opinion? Hey, that's from Ares Villa, the place where you're from, in the homeland. I recognize it. How do you recognize it? Well, I just do. Or versus I was around when Charles was younger and Marion and V2, and there's a whole conspiracy with them that I was involved with. I left them to come to you. I mean, one's actually honest and one is dishonest. You can defend it all you want. I'm not a fan of it. I mentioned one already. Okay. Can you imagine a Code Geass series Monty Python style? We've gone from Star Wars to Monty Python. Mimi is the worst man of the Black Knights. He's that creep that likes young girls. Yeah, I mentioned that in one of my things because he when she becomes the viceroy, he blushes during her speech. I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird. I wish Mimi had a bigger role. He couldn't part of the anti-zero group with Chiba and Asahina. Actually, if you remember, not only was he should have a bigger role in that department, he was a better leader than Ogi. There's a scene in turn, what was it? I think it was 18, where they didn't know what to do, and he took control. And Ogi didn't. Ogi was completely, deer in headlights. Oh God, Lolly. Tomoki's IQ is 0. By the way, because we're wondering what the whole Lolly thing is, here, let me just show you the scene for reference. Do I know what I'm doing? The answer is probably not. Okay, hold on. Let me show you what we're all talking about. What are we talking about? We talking about Lolly. Lots of Lolly. Okay, so when here, I'll pull it up real quick. So Lelouch is overlooking. This is R2, by the way, which we'll be getting into next week. How exciting! So Rollo's with Lelouch. You may wake up with Rollo, like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" Oh God, it's you, man. Nunnally. So Nunnally's saying, "Hey guys, I'm the viceroy now, and because I'm the viceroy now, there's gonna be some changes." Then look at Minami's face. See, he's blushing. The guy's a lolly. He's literally blushing. I'm like, why is he blushing? It's just Nunnally. It's really weird. I don't know what the point of this was. I think I could be wrong. I think it was because maybe he was excited for Japan getting their freedom, but I mean, no one else is blushing. It's really weird. That's where the whole lolly thing comes from with Minami. At least that's my opinion. Yeah, okay. I hope I answered the whole lolly stuff. It's all headcanon, okay? I'm just making this stuff up. But he was blushing, though. It was kind of weird. Can you tell me secrets, C2? No, but I'll give you a kiss. There's nothing to tell you because I want you alive. What? Oh man, pretty much. Rakshata called me a Lycon in one of the picture dramas. I heard he's also seen blushing when Nelly is shown as a new viceroy. Oh really? I didn't know what that one. Hold on, I have that too. Let's keep digging deeper into this. The whole there's a whole subplot here. Apparently, Asahina, the lolicon. I mean, not Asahina, Minami. Let's see. I know which picture drama that is. That's the whole sleepover party. No, it's not 9. I should know better. It's not 9. It's 12. No, 12 is the gambling one. Okay, 1 second. So much for the Geass Code gameplay. Instead, we're looking up if Minami is a pedophile. Because why not? Here it is. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Okay. Okay, let's see. Wait, what's the beginning of this? Okay. Rakshata. You look good in that outfit. All right, we're having a nice pajama party here. Okay, cool stuff. This is, by the way, picture drama. If you want reference, this is 12.59, I think. Something like that. Okay. Oh, he's a nice guy, but that's it. Minami is a pedo. Do you see this? Minami is a pedo. Okay, he is a lolicon. That scene wasn't just a joke. He is a pedophile. We were just joking about it, but no, Minami is a freak. What the hell? He's a pedo. Ooh, wow. Damn. That is creepy. That's like a dark side of the Black Knights. That freaking Minami is a pedophile. I mean, I assume Rakshata is being a little hyperbolic, but he was blushing for Nunnally. Oh wow. Damn. That's disgusting. I hope you guys are happy that I went through that because we all were wondering if Minami was a pedophile. Anyhow, Schneizel said that Gawain was a prototype. Dude, this was Trunks Knight Refrain R1 that can do poses 360 beams of death. Yeah, even the Garrus didn't seem as powerful by comparison to the yeah. Wasn't there a drama with the Black Knights talking was about Zero and the men? Yeah, I just went through it. Oh, I stand because the betrayal and the more build-up could have been played a bigger role. Look at those votes. Yeah, that's the whole thing I had before. The BKs had every right to hate Zero, but as a part of the UFN, they should have brought the matter to them. Yeah, they should have discussed it. That is definitely true. The betrayal in the UFN or the betrayal situation with Zero was not handled well. I definitely agree with that one. I'm not sure the point making Minami a Lolicon was if they hadn't given him a different personal trait, would have made him a better character. He would have been a good character. Yeah, that was strange. Really strange stuff. They didn't let go of that a year ago. Plus, Lucian made a nation and expanded the BK rap list with a bunch of hypocrites. Yeah, they're all hypocrites. That's definitely true. But at the same time, though, you can't really abandon. It's hard to let it go because when you find out the entire time that Lucian basically gave your whole rebellion for his sister, you start wondering if we should really follow this guy or not. Chiba was very pissed, considering she was being executed with the rest of the Black Knight members, okay? You gotta understand, just because everything worked out well, it doesn't justify the fact that Lucian basically used them and left them later on, so. Two ways to look at it. Yeah, well, understandable. Lucian basically doomed an entire country of millions. 8 Japanese would be angry. I need a better argument. Wow. The back and forth is real. If the soft reboot hadn't happened, I think Lucian would have won by boarding the Schneizel Avalon and the Lancelot and used the ship to wipe out the Praetorian force in Area 11. Yeah, maybe. That could have been a nice solution instead of what we got. Ogi had a great Geass again, par survive bullets. Maybe. Who knows? Plot twist. I think the contrast between Lelouch and Cornelia, or I like the contrast. Lelouch told everyone he's leaving and it's caused panic. Cornelia told Sako to keep up her injury a secret to not demoralize her men. And that's a really good point. In fact, I think that might be one of the better points made in the stream. Not that you guys didn't say anything else productive, because you guys did. I love all the comments. But what I like this point because this is exactly correct. Cornelia didn't want to sacrifice the forces for herself. She said they should keep going, forget about my situation. Where Lelouch sacrificed everyone for himself. The two, I mean, you can see that Cornelia is actually a good leader and Lelouch is a selfish prick. This is a very good point. This is one of the most key differences between Lelouch and Cornelia as leaders. Where Lelouch, it's really all for him, and Cornelia, it's not about her. I like how Amelia, that's our name. Is it? No, Amelia is the different sister. 1 second. Give me a second here. What is her name? Give me a second here. My brain is like, I've been going through so much stuff, I'm forgetting what her name is. Give me a second here. Olivia Armstrong. Sorry about that. Olivia Armstrong was exactly the same in Brotherhood, where she said that her troops are more important than she is in the battlefield. And what's funny too is that Cornelia made this observation as early as in Stage 7, because when Lelouch ran away, they made a point how he had an escape plan, because ultimately it was about him. So Cornelia has been aware of this weakness of Lelouch, and you could tell that she never leads like this. That's why she's a much better leader than Lelouch was. It's too bad we never had this chance to see that on a grander scale. But yeah, Cornelia was awesome, or is awesome. Hey guys, I'm gonna ban you guys to say my sis. I mean, going to do somewhat to do something. Total. Wait, what? What about us? Zero. Shut up, D-Tart. What about the rebellion? Zero. Shut up. Yeah, basically. Here's another poll question: was Suzaku right to not clear Yuffie's name? What do you mean? I don't think he. Wait. Was Suzaku right to not clear Yuffie's name? I don't know. Why would they be? Did he not try to? I got the impression he just never got a chance to do it, given what happened with Lelouch, and Cornelia eventually took the role. I mean, the question is, should Yuffie's name be cleared? I think the answer is absolutely. It wasn't her fault at all. I mean, definitely go for it. I don't know if this actually happened or not. I know he didn't end up doing it, but I wasn't sure the circumstances as to why that was the case. Tomki is light. He's an a-hole who cares about himself and ate like dying. Pretty much. C2 is the only character in the show to see Lelouch naked. Yeah, true. It's a fact. No one else saw him naked. Not that you'd wanted to, anyhow. They saw each other naked, so it's fair. It's all fair. While I believe that Lelouch is a better strategist, I think Rena's a better leader. She seemed to care more about her men than Lelouch does with the Black Knights, in my opinion. Yeah, that's why they're so loyal to her. You know why they fight like hell? Like that one guy that what we mentioned earlier on, that blonde soldier who gave his life up for her. There's a reason why. She commands respect. Her soldiers care about her. There's no infighting with Cornelia's troops. There was infighting with the Black Knights later on in the series because of the rebellion that happened between the reveal or after the reveal of Lelouch. You know, when Schneider spills the beans, if you will. There was also constant back and forth about it. Now, at least early on in the story, everyone worked together under Zero, but later on there were certain aspects that were, what happened was early on they were all working together really well. But then as Lelouch started doing more and more questionable things, his troops started questioning him. For example, after what happened to Katase, you see that Ogi is kind of wondering what happened there. And he manipulated, not Ogi, but Lelouch manipulated Toto to still follow him afterwards. And so everyone was kind of following him under a false narrative, a false premise narrative, whatever term you want to use. And then eventually after the Geass massacre, again, the Black Knights started to even more distrust Lelouch. So it wasn't like early on they liked him, but as things kept going on, specifically with some questionable actions, you saw a betrayal or the seeds being sown for a betrayal. That's what the Black Knight betrayal was not completely unforeseeable. You could definitely see it was going to happen at some point. I mean, freaking Asahina told Toto, we can't trust Lelouch. And Ogi was like, did you kill Katase? I mean, they both clearly didn't want to serve Lelouch. Whereas Cornelia's troops were very loyal to her because she respected them. I don't think Lelouch ever respected anyone in the Black Knights. He used them, but I don't think he respected them. Suzaku angers me so much in R2 since he's just an obstacle for Lelouch. Him being okay conquering other countries, Charles Geassing his friends, and not clearing Yuffie's name makes him so evil. Suzaku kind of at this point is in a weird stage. Again, once he lost Euphemia, he kind of his whole character changed, probably for the worse. Well, depending on who you ask. But his character kind of changed where he was soulless and enraged and just was focusing on just rising in rank and becoming the Knight of One. And I guess he had to do some awful things to get there. To be fair, though, Suzaku was doing awful things as the regular warrant officer. I mean, the whole the whole massacre of poor Yokozuka. I mean, that was how do I put this? I mean, that wasn't a good thing either. He was literally killing his own troops. And Suzaku, in general, I mean, he's the example of someone who's aiming for the forest, missing the trees. You know, like his whole major goal was to save Japan and basically, I guess that was, and make change from within. But he realized that while doing that, he was also kind of causing more problems that he was solving. It's very complex stuff because the one at Zaku, I think, could have succeeded in his plans given what we know in the story. At the same time, though, would have actually worked. I mean, possibly, I don't know. It's a strange situation, and definitely his actions are too. I could definitely agree they were kind of questionable and I mean, I guess evil. He didn't really care what Charles did. Although, did he know it? Yeah, he knew Charles used the Geass on everyone because he was monitoring the OSI units. Yeah, he knew. Yeah, I guess when your girlfriend dies, this is what happens to you. And they say Lelouch is crazy. If you want a better chance of winning, pick Lelouch. If you want someone who actually cares for your life, then pick Cornelia. Yeah. I don't think it was Lelouch naked. I think that was the point. What about just send an army to wait? What are you doing? Stay here, Lelouch. Shut up, Kaguya. Yeah, Kankai Jody Zero. Bye now. Pretty much. I have to say, Zaku kills in the final scene. He has almost the entire mini character arc here. So much different emotions. Lelouch might still spotlight what Zaku was the stage. I like the metaphor there. Yeah, because I mean, at this point, Zaku was. I mean, he had to go. He went through certain emotions at one time. He lost his friend. Well, metaphorically, because the friend killed his girlfriend, his own sister too. From that perspective, I mean, what do you even think at that point? Because the person you like, your best friend, is someone you absolutely hate. Yeah, it's definitely a rough situation for him. Man, it's loading really slow today. What the hell? Here, let me close a bunch of tabs. It might be because I have a bunch of stuff opened up. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. Mina me the pedo. What a wonderful phrase. Let me close out too. Okay. There's like nothing opened. So what's the problem? Lucian and like Palpatine in stage 23. Give in to your hatred, Zaku. Help me. All right, I'm gonna close it, reopen. I don't know what's going on with the game. It's been all loopy since like the before even the stream started. If Lelouch showed any real sympathy to Japan, then Colin wouldn't have abandoned him. Pretty much, yeah. I can't disagree with that. I really can't. Which is better, R1 or R2? I liked R1 more. Also, Lelouch threatened to blow up Colin along himself. Hizaku, yeah, Colin never brings them to R2. Yeah, again, one of the problems with Code Geass, and there are many, unfortunately, is that the characters have amnesia, not like plot amnesia. They just choose not to bring stuff up. Like again, so C2 lying to Lelouch. Yeah, Zaku never Colin never brings up the fact that Lelouch was going to kill everybody. Very true. I don't know what that was about, but yeah, he never brings it up again, which was kind of weird. I don't get it. I think R1 was better than R2. And R2 need to be split up or have the Zero Requiem be an entire season onto its own. We could have more Lelouch and Zaku teaming up. Those are awesome. I agree. Like Lucia Blood and RE could have been that could have been an entire season. Zaku doesn't take care of Nelly in R2. He keeps her he keeps trying to expose Lucia to Zero, which he knows will make Charles hurt her. Wait, no, he does take care of her. He keeps trying to expose Lucia as Zero, which he knows will make Charles hurt her. I don't think that's what's happening. Maybe I misinterpret that. I don't know. That doesn't seem right to me. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not what it is. Or not how it went, rather. Yuffie being Geass was an accident. I tried to stop it, but had no chance, so I had to kill Zaku. All right, still going to kill you, Lelouch. Oh, crap. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Yeah, no doubt. Oh, here's Ashley by the way, Music in Combat. I got him last week. In case you guys didn't know, there's Colin by the way in the game. You get the fighter. She's yeah, whatever. I'm still mad I couldn't get her last time. And we're fighting a freaking dancer. This is what Code Geass has come to. We're fighting a dancing seas world creature. I know it's a birthday celebration, but still, um, really stupid stuff. So that's going on kind of here. I'm pretty sure I can put it in auto. I don't think I'll pay attention to it while I'm talking. I'll read in the comments. I'll look in a second here. Come on. Is Ashley going to die? Please don't die, Ashley. I need my birthday cakes. Okay, Ashley, do your thing, man. You too, Shirley. What a strange pairing, huh? Their only connection to this game is that they all like give me birthday cakes when you win. You get out birthday cakes, you can buy certain items. I'll never beat the hardest challenge of the game because it's bullcrap. So instead, I'm just focusing on getting the birthday cakes. Which, if you're playing this game, by the way, and you're partaking in the Lush celebration party, this is what you should be doing, which is getting the birthday cakes. There we go. We got him. It only took like, over a minute, but we got him. I love Ashley's post-win celebration. He puts his hand behind his back in classic anime style. Let's see, they show it here. Yeah, it's kind of cute, actually. And he's pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen Ocular Exile, you really should. Minami is a creep because they're just minors, pretty much. The Lush and Zero found Minami is a pedo and blushing about Nully. Zero takes a flamethrower and chases his ass out. If a Lush knew that Minami had interest in his sister, he would kill him. I Lush command you to kill yourself. I mean, he would. Man, I feel like we need to make some. I gotta make some T-shirts to celebrate all the insanity. We gotta make one for Claudio Dalton, and also one for Minami the Pedo. For those, I'm tempted to make like that meme where it's the one from Incredibles where it says like Minami, those who know, those who don't know. I always get that wrong. It's Minami, those who don't know, those who know. Because the guy's a freak. He's literally a pedo who liked Nully. How crazy is that? Oh, I'm using my autoplay too early. That's not good. Oopsies. Those who know, those who don't know, those who know. A drama about Geass will be incest and lollipops. Yeah, basically. Oh, damn it. I go back. Ashley died. I wasn't paying attention. Go Geass. A drama show about mechas, incest, and lollicons. Well, you can argue Tianzi and Kaguya don't help either. Which is so frustrating because they have the whole harem crap when it comes to Code Geass, which is no real there's no real evidence of that. It's just headcanon crap. But that's another complaint we have with the series too. Oh, it's a harem because Lush and Tianzi and Kage. No, there's nothing. You guys are making stuff up. Yeah, come to Code Geass. We have mecha, drama, romance, and lollicons, incest, and Colin. We love Colin. Even she has fan service. Even in her chibi form. How sad is that? Even her chibi form has fan service. They just can't leave her alone. She can't catch a break. Zaku never told the world about the Geass at the Charles orders. If he had, Yuffie's name would have been cleared. I thought he was told the Geass thing because Charles invited him to the Sword of Akasha in episode 2 of Art 2. Maybe I'm wrong there. He would have lost his rank and title. This should have been his own episode. Well, it never happened, so take what you can get, I guess. You think the role would being that Yuffie was controlling magic mind, controlling her powers? Yeah, that's another thing too. I guess that's a good point. Would anyone have bought that? Probably not. But I mean, I get it though. It's a fair critique. They never really cleared her name ever in the story, except at the end when he had the whole Zero Requiem. That was kind of the point, actually. I think the reason Saku joined Lelouch because that was the only way they could ever clear Yuffie's name permanently by just, instead of trying to actually explain what happened, they just killed more people so to forget about the people that, that Yuffie killed. When you say it like that, it doesn't sound too great. You think the world would believe Yuffie? All right, no, jeez, I keep same ones. Let's see. Lelouch and Suzaku should have stopped fighting and just admitted that they were in love. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't think that was, like John Cena. Are you sure about that? I'm not sure about that one. I don't think the fanfic writers need any more fuel to the fire. Yeah, probably not. Okay. I love that Shirley used her school bag as a weapon in the game. She uses her phone too. By the way, here I'll slow it down for next battle because this is kind of intense. But she not only uses her bag, she uses her cell phone. Yeah, right there. She throws her cell phone. Like this is Shirley like going all out. She's throwing her bag and her cell phone. And when she uses her special, she throws out like a bunch of juice glass or something. Like here, I'll go back to the battle real quick, or we'll do another example. I can't use too many different characters in this gameplay because I have to collect cakes, and I have the best team to collect cakes. You see all these +1s here. You can't get any much better than this at this point for collecting cakes, unless you had Colin and Suzaku, which I don't have because F this game in the most nasty way possible. But here, I'll slow it down. Lelouch and Suzaku is the most popular ship, only with C2 as the highest contender. All right, so check this out, right? So watch Shirley, and it's hard to because the game is really fast. She threw her phone. She throws a backpack, and then she throws her phone. Hold on, Shirley, throw your phone. You can do it. There. She throws her phone at Millie. It's the only time in the entire game where this actually makes sense because she threw her phone at Millie, which might actually hurt her. But other than that, it's not effective. Yeah, see, Colin, you can see her boobs. It's oh man, F this game. But anyhow, so you see, like Shirley is throwing her phone at people while also acting cute at the same time. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to interpret this, but it's still funny. See, there comes the glasses. They should have given Shirley a gun. What would the problem if they gave her a gun? Like nothing, literally nothing. Man, these enemies are so annoying with their freaking birthday hats. Really irritating stuff. Yeah, it's what it is. I still can't believe Suzaku never learned Yuffie's Gale accent. I could see V2 playing or recording just to mess with him. The whole conversation between V2 and Suzaku to me was horrible because V2 didn't tell him anything useful. He just said, yeah, Zero has a power code Geass. Again, I'm not sure how V2 knew that, but has a power code Geass, and he used that ability to... I don't know what he did with it. Why did V2 just tell him? Who the hell knows? We know V2 didn't tell him because in turn 17, he asked Lelouch, why did you use Geass on... Did you use Geass on Yuffie, or why did you? Wait a minute. He said you used Geass on Yuffie. So did V2 tell him then? Like, why would he ask Lelouch that question? Did you use Geass on Yuffie? Oh, that's... I'm getting it wrong, guys. What happened was, Lelouch asked... Suzaku asked Lelouch, did you use Geass on Yuffie? He then said yes. Then Suzaku said why. Okay, never mind. V2 never said anything. All right. Just had to go back through to my head. It's I'm like multitasking like crazy here. No lollicongs, only siscons. Me. What? Lelouch, what? Yeah. Man, Code Geass had a darker side I didn't even know about. I mean, I kind of was aware of me like possibly being a pedo. I didn't know it was actually a thing though. It's kind of funny. It's actually not funny. It's actually really awful. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's or smiling. It's not funny. None of this is funny. Yeah, DX said that Code Geass is a harem. Yeah, he's wrong on that. It's not a harem. I know that the official art might say otherwise, but in the story itself, there's no harem going on here. Not from a perspective of a typical anime harem, anyways. And just to be fair, harem in and of itself isn't necessarily a bad thing in a anime storyline. You can have good harems if you're done correctly. But when people say the story is a harem, they're not saying it in a friendly sort of way, like a good harem anime. They're saying it in a negative sense. That's why people don't like when other people call their shows harems, because they're using it in the negative terms, not the positive. If that makes any sense. Because Mother Baseman did a whole video about harems, which I didn't like why it's good and stuff. And I agree with some of his points, but not all of them. And he kind of went in a direction like, okay, you know, yeah, is what it is, I guess. Mm, damn, okay. Actually, me blushed around Kaga, and she's 15, not just Nunnally and Tianzi. Wait, when that happened? What scene was that? When did Minami blush around Kaguya? You know the source of that? I'd like to look it up. What episode was that? I don't remember him blushing around Kaguya. He did? I don't remember that. We'll have to look it up later. I didn't know he I'll look it up in the story. Um, then again, the rebellion group in real life, I won't name because of political reasons, in fighting among themselves. Um, yeah, of course they do. That's You always have infighting among your factions because you always have disagreement in leadership. You always hear the stories about one person in charge, things are going well, then he has a successor, or there's no successor, and then there's infighting among the group, and things go to hell. It happens all the time. Different opinions. There's always one toxic individual in the group who ruins it for everyone else. I mean, unfortunately it's a story we've seen time and time again. It's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. Let's see. Shirley is Ultra Instinct level. You have no idea. Shirley is OP City in this game, which makes no sense, but we have to go with it. Shirley, I mean, in an actual fight, this team should die instantly. We have a blind cripple girl. Yuffie knows how to use a gun, but she's pretty innocent beyond that. And Shirley literally can't fight. The only people who can fight in this scene are Ashley and Sayako. That's it. These three women here, yeah, they can't do anything. But it's a video game, so it's okay. I'm Kingdom Hearts on the enemy designs in this game. Well, it's because they are. This is the birthday celebration. Shirley's MVP. She kind of is, unfortunately. According to the wiki, it states that the role believes Yuffie was a scapegoat for Luce, so maybe Luce took credit for the massacre. But when was that revealed, though? Makes more sense than one massacre overwrites the other. But when Yuffie was a scapegoat for Lelouch. When did it happen, though? I don't doubt it, but I don't remember that actually happening in the story. Maybe it did. I don't know. Anyway, let me buy my birthday cake. My birthday cake codex or code link. I'm going to go pick it up at the store. My phone is my weapon. Wait, really? What? It's funny, but not. If Shirley's phone, then odds are Lucia would have successfully escaped Shinjuku without getting Geass. Since, yeah, it's true. Her phone is the reason why everything happened. That one phone call, man, he almost died. And if that happened, Shirley wouldn't get C2 would not have given him the Geass ability. Are you going to review Akito Exile in this format as well? I think that'd be cool, doing one episode every Sunday. Yes, I'm going to, of course. Although Akito is like, an hour long? So do you want to do like the whole thing in one? Well, technically, what is it, an hour and a half? And let me think. Let's see something. You may look at Kyo while I look this up. Actually, Kyo's boring. Let's look at someone else. You know what? Just for shits, you can look at shits and giggles. You can look at Yukiya's creepy eyes while I look this up. There you go. Have fun looking at that for the next few minutes. Man, Yukiya is such a creep. Let's see. Let me find Akito the Exiled. This is Yukiya from Akito the Exiled. All right, hold on. Let's see. Let's see the properties of this. How long is this video? This is literally one of the worst alternate arts in the game. I'm not even gonna lie. The episode is 50 minutes. Oh yeah, we can definitely do one episode a week. The sad part is it's only like how I spell Yukiya? Here, I'll type it in for you. Yukiya Akito the Exiled. Got my neck hurt for some reason. Here, I'll put the name in so you can look him up. I also plan to do the films as well, the recap films, like the new ones, obviously. So yeah, that's the plan. It's like an hour long, so we could definitely do it. That would be a lot of fun. Keep away from children. I mean, like it's so sad because I actually like this character, but like the alternatives for this game are so bizarre. Like you have Yukia, which is creepy, right? You have Ionos, which is disrespectful on so many levels. Like this is literally this pose is so unnatural, and she never did it anyways in the series. And then you get to Ryu's, who, I mean, it's not the worst one, but it's like, really, you want to show him being molested by a bunch of old women? Now, granted, um, he was okay with it with later on with the groping, but like, damn, like Ryu is an awesome character. He deserved better. They all deserved better than this. I thought you said Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not the clearest. My voice, I have like I don't know if I stutter or yeah, I have issues like saying stuff, so I totally get it. Makes sense to me. I'll even take the lollipop. Yeah, the alternatives in this game, like Ashley's are awesome. I'll give it credit to the game. Ashley's is very cool. Like he's just in a hangar here, chilling, getting his knuckles ready to go. Then you flip it around, and then you see he's yeah. Ashley's alternate art is awesome. He's a cool character. Waiting for Jean Ro though. Waiting for her to come out. Look at Geno's. This is an alternative. Look at this one. This is really creepy too. Um, where is Layla or Shin? They need to be in the game. At some point, they probably will be. Maybe that announcement will reveal more characters coming out. I was gonna do some summoning today, but I want to wait for the announcement because they're gonna get more characters into the game. Even lower level people like maybe Chiba, Naomi, Rakshata. I want to wait before summoning again. Even Anya or Bismarck. Let's get some more characters in the game and stop front loading them as level fours. So irritating. Um, I think Gino looks cute. Sorry, you think he looks cute there? I mean, I don't know. It's weird to me. I'm not like it's just like this art style to this one is like a huge contrast. But teaches their own. I mean, obviously someone likes this because they would have made it otherwise. Toto's is one of my favorite alternate arts in the game. I think it's really cool. You got the sword with the Gekka in the background. It's pretty badass. And you got like an alternate. You got like it's like a image on top of an image. It's pretty cool. I got Lloyd's alternative too. Buying his finger and the Lancelot's in the background. Pretty cool. I got him last week too. He's one of the new characters. um, did you think Code Geass is a destruction of the classic rebellion story like the Watchmen? Is it a deconstruction of the classic Silver Age heroes? Um, I'll think about that one. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't think Code Geass was a deconstruction of anything. I think it was more of an amalgamation of different genres to tell a story that people maybe I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know for sure though. Miles' expression here is pure insanity. It's lovely. Yuki is just like, hey, don't F with me. Pretty much, you don't F. Like, if you watched Akito, you know you don't mess with Yukia. That's for sure accurate. You think Shin's plan to destroy the Pentagon would have worked if Zaku and Julius never showed up? Um, yeah. And the truth is, it wasn't even them that stopped him. It was Ayano saved the day by stopping Jean Ro from using Apollo's chariot. She was the one who stopped the whole plan to begin with. It wasn't just it wasn't just Julius, but yeah. Never mind, I'll take it back. Lloyd's perfect in every aspect. I love how he admits he's a sociopath. Pretty much. Um, it's fine. Uh, Jean Rowe. How do you spell that? It's hold on. I think there's an E after Rowe. Yeah, it's Jeanrowe. Jean Rowe, with what's his name, Ashley. They were found as orphans, I believe, by Shin Hyuga when they were kids. So if you, I believe that was her backstory. Um, where was it? It doesn't say anything. How come they don't point out that she and Ashley were rescued by Shin when they were younger? Whatever. She was. I had this cool fight with fight Renya versus Edward Elric. Two boys with strange arms. I think Renya would win since his arm literally absorbs all life. Just saying. I see Kogela the original Gundam, but with Char as the protagonist. I mean, it was made by Sunrise, so there's definitely truth to that. It is, I believe, French. Jean. Isn't the pronunciation of Jean as Jean? Isn't that French? I'm pretty sure it's. It says according to the Wikia, and I don't remember this in the story, but she went by John, so they wouldn't be prejudiced to her because apparently Yubertan doesn't like females. I don't remember that being in the story. I'll have to rewatch it again. I hate why they didn't do much with Bismarck's Geass. He only used it for a few seconds. Yeah, Bismarck's Geass is like OP. Like in this game, for example, you can use it in battle, and it literally makes you like impossible to attack for a couple seconds. The ability to predict the actions of your opponent or know them for even a few seconds, literally the difference between winning and losing in any average battle. So I definitely agree with that. Yeah, Jean. I used to say John, but it's actually Jean. It took a while to get that correct too. Like you're listening to someone who watched the show like several times. Sean, yeah, yeah. I love Shin and John as a couple, but unfortunately, the show never really explored much of it, which was yeah, pretty typical. I gotta sell my my stuff because I'm getting overflowed with freaking code links. It's kind of annoying after a while. Do. You got like a bunch in the game, so it's like I have the Millie one. I have the Nina. Nina, don't do it. We have the blind Guilford. I'm just kidding. He's not blind, but you know what I mean. Um, the cool image from Gloucester when she destroyed that palace in stage 5, I believe. We have Gino being a fool as usual, because that's all he ever does. Let's see. Oh, we have Chigasa, aka the kind Valletta, the one who didn't try to shoot to kill Ogi. Gene smiles. You know, maybe we'll just use him. Why not? You know what's funny? I don't recall if there was a what's it called? I don't recall if there is a code link for all of the Dalton sons. I know there's a couple that you can get, but I don't know if they have all of them because I believe the guy with the blue hair and also the red hair, they die. I know. David died, and the guy with the blue hair died. I don't know if the blonde guy died. I really don't remember. It's been a while. Like the problem with Code Geass R2 is that you'll see in the death video when I the death count video or kill count, whatever I decide to call it, you'll see that like it's so hard to follow how many people are dying on scene. Like it's crazy. The action in R2 is insane. It's hard to follow it, and people are just dying left and right in that story. So if I missed his death, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, there's so much death in that. Okay, speaking of Dalton, here he is. Let me go level him up. So the way this game works, you pick like code links, and you can level them up with the same code link. It's kind of like the characters as well. You know, if you get like duplicates, you can boost their ability. But code links are are easier to acquire than, let's say, than relics, which relics are freaking impossible. I love this code link. It's literally the Knights of the Round from Reign of Darkness. That's the only reason I have it. And this one is the Glinda Knights from Oz and Reflection, which is why I really like that one too. See, the Glinda Knights. Here's the Geass R1 ones. We can delete these. Let's get rid of that crap. All the guys except for Claudia. Okay, that's what I figured. They all were. I know that one died in turn 4 when he was run over by a G1 base, because millions died. I mean, not just the for R2. Can you just put millions? Well, technically, you're right, but whoopsies. Hope you didn't hear that smacking on the mic. Technically, I could put millions because 25 million people, or lots of people died in the episode, but I want to be as accurate as possible because technically the Flay has murdered millions of people. But I wanted to still have fun with it because before the Flay, lots of people died. So it's a fair point. Alfred and Bart died in turn 4. David and Edgar died in turn 18. Wow. The man knows his Daltons. I didn't even know. I knew a couple died in turn 4 and turn 18. I just didn't know they all died. Yeah, it's kind of sad because they were good. They were good people, you know. I mean, as good as you can get, I guess. But yeah, I wanted to specifically count how many, even given the million numbers, as you said. How strong would the high grail that is above a nightmare equal to a conquista? I feel like Alderaan would be worthy to join the Knights of the Round. That could have happened. It obviously never did, but that's not a bad what if scenario, right? I mean, Alder was definitely. I mean, Cornelia could have been Knight of a Round too if she wanted. She was definitely capable as a pilot. So definitely, either way you look at it, for sure, it could have definitely gone that direction. But ultimately, Alderaan didn't go that way. Wait a minute, I've already 2 of the 4. Oh, we're almost there then. Nice. We are almost there. How do you like that? Yeah, we're almost got 4 complete sets. 4 complete sets of the cake, and then we're done. Crazy stuff. Then I can buy more cakes. I need all the cakes because we can't celebrate birthdays without cakes, right? Yeah, I know where I'm going with this. Okay. Yeah, pretty much. Hybrid evolution indeed. I think I missed a comment. What was it? Yeah, to be fair, Bismarck not needing his gas is pretty badass. Shows that he's very skilled. True. And he only used it against, what's her name? Marion. Can you imagine Lucius with Rorschach's voice? Zero's Journal, August 15th. Oh, hold on. That's bad. I could do way better. 1 second. Get some water. It'd be like, Zero's. Oh my god, I can't do it. Damn it. This is really embarrassing. I can get my voice grovelly. You know, like Alex Jones style. Zero's Journal. There we go. Zero's Journal, August 15th. Oh my god, my voice is like, it's not cooperating. I could do it like I just on stream. It's hard, I guess. I don't know. I suck. I could do it though. I don't know why I'm not doing it now though. August 15th, 2017. Clovis carcass is my foot this evening. Bullet on his head. Empire afraid of me. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do for fun, like the what if scenarios with like alternative stories within the current one. Yeah, I almost got enough for the rainbow ticket summoning of 4, and I got enough to do 1 round of silver. But again, we have to wait until yeah. You know what? Just for fun, I will do 1 summon of 1 here, just for fun. We won't get anything good, but why not? Let's do it. One summon. 1 bonus summon. Here we go. 1 summon. Look at that. Nothing. RNG pools. Go fudge yourself. Absolutely nothing. Well, there you go. I want to ring Renya twice. How strong is Renya? Like in context to what exactly? Because he's pretty powerful. What I get. Okay, that's Shirley. It's fine. Whatever. I'm not spending more money on this game or on these summons. It's a waste of my time. Do I have enough to level up her character? I probably don't. Let's see. Where are you, Shirley? Yeah, I need approximately. Oh, we're not even close. Yeah, she's just. That's what it is. No, I sound like Batman. Yeah, you know what? That's exactly what I sound like. This city just showed you they are not the same. I speak with marbles in my mouth. Oh man, marbles in the mouth. That is okay. So yes, to your point, I sound like Batman. Renya twice. How strong is he? Uh, well, I'll say as much. He's stronger than any other characters in the story, including this one as well, because he's a shonen, an actual shonen protagonist, which means he can drain. He has like shonen powers, specifically the arm. Um, I don't think he could take on nightmare frames, although we never know. We'll never know for sure. But hand-to-hand combat, I don't think anyone could stop him. I mean, Dash was a really powerful opponent, and he defeated him. So Rain is probably one of the strongest characters, at least hand-to-hand combat-wise, compared to anyone else in the story. I don't know how he would fare against a nightmare frame. He does let the energy of everything around him, including inanimate objects like the tree. So he probably could drain a nightmare frame. That'd be really cool. A what if scenario. Can you imagine if you made an OVA for Janissary Code and you have Renya during the time with Saint Lelouch in that time Jesus, not time zone. Time stream, and he's fighting against Nightmare Frame and he's really absorbing their energy. Yeah, that'd be really cool if Renya's arm was that destructive. But unfortunately, we'll never get that because we have to have a birthday party, which is more important. If you're upset about Colin's latest artwork, check out Assassin Dora's wiki pic. She's truly fireball. I don't know who that is, but I'll look it up because hey, why not? Why not? We'll look it up. Let's see. Hopefully, this is not something creepy that I'm going to get in trouble for. Let's see. Alessandro Dolos. What the hell is this? Funny guy, huh? Funny guy. What is this? Oh, this is from Oz Reflection. I was like, who is this character? She calls her babies? She was part of Doll's family. The Nightmare Frames deployment, Britannian police. She's Oz Reflection, right? I assume so. I don't what she kind of looks like that character from Gurren Lagann. Is there anyone who has the strongest Geass not lose? The main character is always the strongest. I'm pretty sure the strongest Geass is all relative because I mean Rollo's Geass is pretty powerful. It literally stops people from moving. This dude over here has got a pretty strong Geass reading people's minds. Yeah, I would say so. Oh, you mean against like? Oh, he couldn't defeat those characters. No, he's not. Renya is powerful. He's not that powerful. I don't know how strong Luffy is, but Goku is a planet buster. Naruto is a moon buster, and Gon can like maybe Gon, but then again, definitely not Goku or Naruto. They're like planet buster level. Hell, Goku is universe level, solar system level. Luffy, I'm not sure how strong Luffy is. I've never seen or read One Piece. That's literally an anime concept. Main character gets powers in seconds. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? That's why we watch the story. We want to see our characters get powers really quickly. I can see him being Gon and Luffy. I mean, I guess I can't. No, I'm not picking you up. I can't see that though because yeah, I don't think so. Ooh, more benefits. Let's see. Oh, nothing here. Okay. Still don't have enough yet to get the next items. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. Luffy gets buff, but not city level. I don't know how strong Luffy is. Can he wipe out a city? Rawls power literally gives him a heart attack. Is it worth it? I mean, if you're going to die, it's worth it, right? I mean, what would obviously your life takes precedence if you want to, if survive. What's more important, survival or you know, basically you take a little punishment now and survive later on, I guess. Look, Roll was a defective person. Even like V2 made fun of him about it, which was kind of messed up. But V2 is evil, so what do you expect? What do you expect from a man who's a psycho? Yeah, let's flip this. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think there's much else I can do in this game. Um, how does Renya's do against street tier characters? What does that mean? I'm not really sure. You'll have to clarify what you mean. How would Raul turn out if he wasn't with his parents? Or if he was with his parents? I assume he would have turned out pretty well, considering his parents didn't, wouldn't turn him to a weapon. Yeesh. We'll go to the regular Gigi. Regular Gigi is best Gigi. There is no best Gigi. I'm only kidding. Oh, I got enough Al stuff? Oh, yeah, of course I do. I was accumulating through like a while now. Gigi, I'm not even close to getting her at the next level. I assume Al is somewhat powerful, right? But I don't know. It's kind of cool that I finally have a level 4 attacker. For the longest time, I never had one until Akito. So it's kind of good to have. And Olderin, too. Yeah, I have 4 attackers, whatever. But he's actually the best one that I know of so far. Yeah, Shell's a sociopath. V2 is more is a psychopath. Psychopathy. He killed Marion just because Charles got too attached. I guess so. Lucius is interesting because he's a terrible pilot. He also doesn't win against a single fight by himself unless he uses Geass or rigs the match. Yeah. Well, remember what he told C2, like if the things were fair or something, or he'll like make it fair, I guess. Just imagine Wiz trained Renya and he learned how to okay, that I agree with. Mad Charles chokes V2 in Homer's choke Bart style. Why you little Can you imagine? That'd be a funny. That'd be a funny art. I'm gonna look it up when I. You just gave me a good idea. After the stream, I'm gonna make a meme. I'll post it on Reddit and also post it in my Discord of that exact thing. I'll put the face on there. Why you little? When Charles finds out that V2 killed Mario, and also the other one too. Me. Those who don't know, those who know. Oh man, so much memes to do after the stream. Luch can't fight for shits. It's so funny. He's the Black Knight leader. Well, yeah, he's the tactical leader technically. Toto is the one who actually is in charge of military stuff. So at least in fairness to Luch, we gotta be somewhat fair. He is oh my god, AP is so slow. All right, there we go. I'll keep bumping it up. I want to do a another battle. Again, I'm trying to get the birthday cakes. What time is it? Ooh, it's getting late. Okay. Yeah, he's a crabby leader for sure. Absolutely. He's Lucius is one of the worst fighters, at least. Possibly leader too. We've gone back and forth between him and Cornelia, but I mean, he's definitely, yeah, he's not the strongest person. Wait, did Ash try to shoot himself? That's funny. I don't know if you saw that, but during the conflict, Ashley tried to shoot himself as one of his power ups. The reason why that's significant is because Ashley tried to shoot himself in the head. Was it head or something? He did it with the gun because he was trying to prove a point about the whole "Are you feeling lucky?" punk from Dirty Harry. I think it's. God, I don't remember. I don't think it's Dirty Harry. What's that movie with Clint Eastwood where he says, "Are you feeling lucky, punk?" I know it's sad. I should know what it is by heart, but I don't remember what the heck it's called. Let's see. Are you feeling uh, are you feeling lucky punk? Dirty Harry. It wasn't Dirty Harry. Okay, I'm not crazy. It was from Dirty Harry. He just says harder, please. Oh my god, what is going on? ST Poppy. Okay. Why you little? Oh, more don't choke. Marriott. Don't choke V2. Yeah. It's kind of sad that you can't play this game indefinitely. You have to wait for AP to recover. It's absolutely crazy. The uneven, the unbalance in the items in this game is kind of laughably funny. I mean, I have so much energy to spend. I have none to spend it on, versus having like tons of yeah, it's just crazy that like the dite, which is this stuff here, is like so hard to get, but you need it for basically everything, and the game makes it almost near god impossible to acquire any of it. It's kind of frustrating, but yeah, choke V2. Um, Yikes. Do I have any? Oh, I do. I should sell his. Honestly, I never use Yukia. He's like, eh. He's not my favorite character in the game. In fact, maybe I'll just do that real. No, I'll do it later. I'm not gonna do it now. Valletta too. I have like a bunch of hers, but I mean, Valletta is she's an okay character. You know, not my favorite in the game or in the story. She kind of has a role, you know. Okay, look at this. He's still level 10. I have yet to upgrade him. I refuse to upgrade his character and use him. He's a waste of space. Him and Tamaki. And now Tamaki, it's weird because he's actually a really powerful character in the story. I mean, in the game rather. But I refuse to use him because again, I hate him. But I heard he's actually pretty powerful when you level him up. But I'm not going to level him up. And here's Futaba from Reign of Darkness. I could level her up though. Probably not going to though. So yeah, making good progress in this game, but still got ways to go. Get full though. Let's see. We've been streaming now for about 3 hours. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll end it here. I'll definitely make those two memes. I'm gonna write a note before I forget about the those who know Minami and also why you little, and I'll post them in the Discord server so don't forget. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Next week we're gonna start R2. How exciting is that? And I'm probably gonna review Evangelion Justice. That's how late I'm half asleep. Neon Justice Evangelion, and then beyond that, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, I'll get some good videos out this week as well. I've been like, you know, it's hard to get the stuff out. So anyhow, yeah. Thanks for coming to the stream. Have a good week, and I'll see you guys next week. So take care, guys. As always, thank you for partaking in the stream.